A 2.
A 3. Crunch.
It's exactly what we did last time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Of course.
We're pretty special that way.
I'm pretty special, but
You
different
are
ways.
special.
In different ways.
No, you are a special human. Hair?
Hair.
I shed like crazy.
I just saved you editing issues.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, the video. Which one was it? It might have been the preview for the IceHogs and the Wolves. My necklace got stuck to my chest, but it was like wonky, and I didn't realize it till I was editing. And I was like, well, hopefully that doesn't bother anybody else, but it's bothering me now that I saw it.
I didn't even notice, so.
Good. And I'm going to leave this in as the intro, so now anybody who hasn't watched that yet can go see it. And it can drive them crazy. Welcome to From Center Ice, the podcast. My name is Courtney.
I'm Jonny Rockford.
Hello, Jonny Rockford.
Hello, Courtney.
How are you doing?
I'd be better if the Leafs had won last night.
Oh, yeah. That was a thing.
Or if the IceHogs had won last night when I was there. They didn't. It was brutal.
That was also a thing. At least you know that you're not, like, the curse because you were at Game 2 in Rockford.
And they scored 1 goal, but they won. So it counted.
And they scored 2 goals last night. So maybe the next game you go to, they'll score 3 goals.
As long as they shut the door.
Yeah.
Soderblom wasn't having a great night. Granted, I don't blame him for most of those.
Right.
When you take, like, 7 penalties.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that accounted for 4 of their 6 goals.
Was it? On
Pretty
the power
sure.
play?
Yeah. I think the first one was a power play. The other one was just a weird deflection, like 2 minutes later. The other, like, 2 of the next 3 were power plays, and then I think there was, like, a breakaway.
I know there was one, it might have been Stefan Nason's goal, where he just, like, wrapped it around Soderblom. I was like, buddy, you gotta have that one.
Yeah. I couldn't really see most of the goals where I was.
Is it because they tried to smoke you out at the beginning?
It's because the All-State Rangers sucks.
Oh.
Like,
But you didn't have to look through anybody.
No, because there's nobody there. It was like, I don't know.
That was so weird.
You know it's bad when you play a Get Loud sound in a video and it sounds the same.
It doesn't get any louder.
No, like people just thought it was a normal song, even though it said Get Loud everywhere. And the ribbons on the video board.
I just want to know what happened there. Like, when the game started, it was, I think 7 o'clock was puck drop, right?
Yep.
I was like, oh, well, maybe there's, traffic in Rosemont and around O'Hare and whatnot, and people will, like, file in during the first period, and then it never filled up.
No, what you saw at the beginning was what you saw the rest of the night.
It was so awkward.
Try being there.
Oh, I bet. Like...
The only, like, 6 Wolves fans are all behind us heckling me.
Oh, good.
Because I was wearing my IceHogs jersey.
Yeah.
It's like, Rockford sucks! Rockford sucks! Like, at least we know where we're from.
Right?
Chicago.
We don't try to claim that we're from some different city that we're not from, Rosemont Wolves.
Yeah, that sounds better than Chicago Wolves anyway.
Right?
The only fans they have is because they think they're from Chicago. It's like, nah, dude.
They're confused because a lot of them are Blackhawks fans, too.
Yeah, the dude behind me, it was like 6-1 at one point. Maybe it was 5-1, and I was watching the Maple Leafs game because I'm just a big a fan as you are. And the dude's like, he's watching the Lightning game. He's not even watching his own team anymore. I was like, yeah, well, how'd Carolina do tonight? He's like, I'm not a Carolina fan. I'm like, what team are you a fan of? And he's like, no comment. I'm like,
how did the Blackhawks do tonight, sir?
Have fun, sir.
Right?
And then after the game, he was like, yeah, Wolves, Wolves. And then I just pointed to my shoulder, Blackhawk logo. And he was like, I'm a Blackhawks fan. I'm like, yeah, you're rooting against your own team. How do you feel?
Right? These are your prospects.
Mm-hmm.
I've never understood that. I mean, it sort of makes more sense to me than Carolina moving from Charlotte to Chicago with their affiliation, which will never, ever make sense to me.
Who is Charlotte's?
It's
AHL affiliate now? Or NHL
they
affiliate?
share an affiliation with the Seattle Kraken and the Florida Panthers, I want to say.
until...
I said that in, I think it was the Cozy Cast the other day, and then I was like, is that right? So I'm going to look that up, actually. Because...
Your hair or cat hair?
Maybe both. That might be cat hair. It looks a little thinner. There's just hair everywhere.
Or you're just thinning?
Maybe.
No,
that would be...
That'd be bad. That's what I'm doing.
Bad.
Don't do that.
Florida Panthers and the Seattle Kraken. All right, I was right.
Florida used to be with Springfield, right? Or am I crazy?
Yeah, and now that's St. Louis.
It's not even Springfield, Illinois, so it's even more confusing.
Where is it?
I don't know.
I will tell you. I'm looking it up. It is, yes, St. Louis Blues. Springfield, Massachusetts. Interesting. It should be Springfield, Illinois. That would make a lot more sense for St. Louis.
When they had Peoria in the AHL, that made the most sense.
Yeah.
Because they're probably the closest team to St. Louis.
Right. But then...
Then nobody went to their games.
And then Vegas had to come in and ruin everything because St. Louis had the San Antonio Rampage as their affiliate after the Wolves. And then Vegas was like, we don't want the Wolves anymore. We want a team closer to us, unlike what Charlotte did.
So they just bought a team.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Spurs, you know that hockey team you don't care about? Gimme.
Yeah.
Plop them
They
right
just-
down in Portland or wherever. Henderson.
Yeah. So now we have the Henderson Silver Knights who got swept, I believe, in the first round of the playoffs by the Colorado Eagles.
Who are they, Texas? That
That was so wonderful.
was fun. It was what? 4 goals scored in the entire series?
Yeah. Yeah. Arvid Soderblom only allowed 1. The IceHogs only scored 3. What are they? The Blackhawks playing Nashville? That was a time.
That was the last actual playoff.
Yeah, the last
series.
actual playoffs, and they got swept and only scored 3 goals in the process.
Not at home. What is pain? What is pain?
The Chicago Blackhawks are pain.
Yep, even when they have accomplishments, they taint them. We've talked about that before. Let's move on. IceHogs.
IceHogs.
The last time they were in the playoffs, swept their way to the Western Conference Finals just to get beat by Texas. So in turn, we swept them.
Yes.
And then played Chicago. And
who did they sweep? I think it was the Moose and then Chicago? Or was it Chicago and then
Chicago
the Moose?
first because I used to work there at the time.
Oh, okay.
And instead of the 2-2-1 they're doing this year, it was 1-1-1-1-1, which makes no sense. But game 1 was in Chicago. We beat them. Game 2 was in Rockford. We beat them. Game 3 went to triple overtime, almost quadruple overtime, and we beat them.
Victor
awesome.
Edsel.
And then we played Manitoba, and we swept their ass.
Yeah,
And
I
then
was
we
at
went
the
to
sweepy
Texas.
game.
I was at the 2 home games. And then we played Texas and almost got swept. But then entered Jeff Glass to save the day.
I will never get over that series, even though we got sweet, sweet redemption this year, because in overtime, the IceHogs should have won, and that was goaltender interference, and it was offside, and I will never get over it.
Talking about game 3?
Probably, yeah.
It was the game at home in game 3 that we lost.
Yep, in overtime. And it shouldn't have been a goal.
Yep.
And it was, and I will forever be mad about it, and I will hate the Texas Stars forever just because of that one goal.
That was a 2-3-2, right?
I don't remember. A lot has happened since then.
Because we lost the first 2 in Texas, and then we lost game 3.
We lost the series in Texas. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there. I was watching it on TV, and they victimized poor Joni Tuula and Jeff Glass to score the game winner. Which I think was in overtime, because then the game was just over.
Yeah, there was an icing with 7 seconds left in overtime. They won the draw and immediately scored, and I was out of a job. That's what happened there. There's a bug on your wall.
Is there?
Crawling up to the window.
Where? Oh, yeah, there is, huh? That's what I've been up to since I got back from New York.
Just killing bugs.
Oh my gosh. So ever since we've had this house, which has been almost 30 years at this point,
Older than you are.
I know. Every time we moved here when I was 3, so getting up there to 30 years. But every time spring hits and it starts getting warmer, we get ants. every single year since we have had this house, and I don't understand. But it's always been a problem. So I saw a couple before I went to New York, and I was like, oh man, it's ant season again. That sucks, but whatever. I'm only seeing like one or two. And then I got back. And the day after, I was just sitting downstairs in my recliner, just chilling in the morning. And I looked down at the floor and I'm like, why is my floor moving? And I just see this big ant trail and I was like, you motherfuckers. And so I have spent the last week and change on a murderous rampage. I've been vacuuming up ants. I've been spraying them with any sort of pet-friendly ant killer that I can find. I put out traps. I've been stomping on them. And it got to the point where I was just losing my mind and like maniacally laughing like, I'm going to kill you and all your friends and be happy doing it.
Yeah, I hate bugs.
Me too.
That's horrifying.
Yes.
That there's that many.
Thankfully, they
ants.
were all like in one area. Like I could see where they were coming from and like where they were going. It was at the bottom of the stairs if you go all the way down to the living room. It was down there because I'm guessing they probably live somewhere in the basement and so they come up.
Right.
But I was able to mostly contain them. So it wasn't too bad. And I'm probably making it sound more dramatic than it was with the amount that there were. But it seemed like a lot. And I mean, dealing with this for a week and change, there are a lot, but they weren't all out at the same time. But
I'm thinking, I don't know if you've ever seen Cat Dog, but there's an episode of Cat Dog where they get fleas and they get like this collar that they share as a belt, but they still both have them. So one steals it for a while, then the other one just gets covered with fleas and just moving all over the place, and the other one steals it back, and then they just swap.
I used to absolutely love that show.
It was a great show.
It was. I used to come home from elementary school and eat crunchy Cheetos and watch Cat Dog. And then I had the computer game for Cat Dog.
It was a computer game?
Oh my God. It was the best ever. Remember just like computer games you'd get on a nice old CD-ROM and pop it in? And
I had Rugrats in Paris on CD-ROM. Oh my God.
The Rugrats games were legit.
I had the is it the pajama guy? You had to sort things.
Pajama guy?
Yeah, it's like Pajama Pete or something.
Oh, I didn't have that one.
It wasn't Nickelodeon or nothing, but it was a CD-ROM. You just like, it's like one of those path builders where you have to like build like the L's and then the T's and you have to like move everything and sort things. It was one of those games. And then I had like the RC putt-putt one.
Oh, yes. I loved the mini golf ones. Mm-hmm. Oh, there was one, I actually still have the disc for it because I refuse to believe I'll never be able to play it again. And it was so much fun. And I just remember there was like a haunted house level of the mini golf. And I used to love it, even though I hate haunted houses in real life. Computer games were so much fun. But that Cat Dog one, it was like Adventures of the Lost Fire Hydrant or something. And it was so much fun. And I would watch that and eat my Cheetos after school when I was a kid. Yeah. I had some Barbie ones too. Those were legit.
I had like the entire like 2002 EA Sports catalog.
Oh.
On PC, which included NHL, Madden, I think NFL Coach, and FIFA.
Oh wow.
All I ever did in it was like I would put in NHL, create all my friends, put them on the Blackhawks, and dominate every team.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You could technically still do that now with NHL. It would just take
But now
a while.
I've matured. So I want to just take a team like Arizona and build them to be a dynasty where they never lose.
I love franchise mode.
It's good.
I feel it used to be a lot better, in my opinion, back on old gen.
Every franchise mode used to be better.
That's true.
People, EA, even 2K to an extent, only care about Ultimate Team now. And that because that's where they make all of their money. They will make like 6 times the amount of money that people spent on the $60 game through Ultimate Team because people are stupid.
I used to be that stupid person back when I was in college, and I would spend money on those dumb packs. Now I just spend all of my money on real hockey cards.
I mean, get a collection, that'll be better than...
This is true. At least it's actually worth something.
You can look at them throughout the years, not just in one game.
That's what I realized was like, I'm spending all of this money and it means absolutely nothing once the next game comes out.
Yep. If you could carry them over, that would be better.
Yeah.
EA Sports, do that. People might actually not call it a joke, even though it's still a joke.
No, because then they wouldn't be able to make as much money because people would just bring all of their 99 overall players over and then thered be no point.
Yeah. There's no point now. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I mostly use it just to play online and like try to get better at defense and scoring and stuff.
Yeah.
Plus I like opening packs. I don't pay for them with real money, but I use like my coins and stuff and try to complete the achievements so I can get rewards because I'm just a sucker for that instant gratification hit. But I refuse to pay for it.
I will say Ultimate Team is the closest thing we'll have to connected GM mode.
Yeah. That they used to have, and everybody loved it, and EA was like, you like something, we're going to kill it.
They could absolutely bring it back, but then that would kill Ultimate Team. The people that play that to play other teams and other players and that stuff wouldn't want to keep playing Ultimate Team because they know how stupid it is. Mm-hmm. And it would kill their money grubbing... I don't know where I was going with that. It would kill their money laundering scheme. That's also not what I meant, but...
We'll call it that. We'll call out EA for their money laundering.
There's no proof, but I mean, come on.
It's totally fine.
Come on.
I miss the days before microtransactions in games.
Thanks, cell phone games.
Yeah, right.
They started that stuff.
Where companies actually had to like release a full game. What?
Insanity. People used to do DLC content to just enhance it, to keep people playing. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, well, we don't have a full game. Just release what we have, and then we'll just keep adding
the game's like mostly broken, but we released it. That's EA's logic. Because it's always broken that first week or so.
That was Cyberpunk's logic too, and that's still not fixed.
Really?
Apparently.
I never played it. I don't know what the game really is, but I heard the fallout from it.
I bought it because I thought it looked really, really cool. And it's been like in development for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
They announced it like an E3 like in the 2010s.
Oh my gosh.
Like around like 2010 or something. And yeah, it just never came out until last year.
Yeah. Yes.
I think
maybe
so.
Maybe 2020.
I think it was 20. I think it was 20. I think it was last year.
It might have been. Again, so much stuff has happened that everything just runs together.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just the buggiest game ever.
I heard it wasn't like even playable. It was so bad. And people were so hyped for it. Mm-hmm. And then they released it.
And people were like, why isn't it out yet? You've had so many months to work on it. Why is it not out? Release it. And then they released it. It's like, why'd you release this shit?
Right.
Like,
be careful what you ask for.
Nobody can win.
Yeah.
People are impatient and then are mad and they don't get perfection.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're working on a game for 10 years, you should have something a little better than that.
Maybe their goals are a little too ambitious. That's what I'm thinking.
Seems that way. EA definitely needs to figure something out, though, because... But it doesn't really matter, because they have the only NHL game. So
yeah,
it doesn't matter whether it sucks or not. Fun fact. Ooh, I like fun facts.
I played, well, it's not really a fact, but I mean, it is, but it's not like a fact. Fun anecdote. There we go.
Okay, fun anecdote. I like fun anecdotes too.
I was at my buddy Jordan's house yesterday. We were playing last gen Madden. Okay. I have current gen Madden, and so they had like constant updates. They did not update that game on last gen at all, and it was the buggiest looking thing I've ever played. We were playing as the Colts because we didn't want to play each other because we didn't want to hate each other going into Chicago. Fan? He's a Colts fan. He's from Indy.
Oh.
So, we were playing a game. I was playing running back, so I was Jonathan Taylor. I was fighting forward, hit the ground, fumbled the ball somehow, even though I was down and rolled across the damn field.
Okay, dude, sounds like EA.
Up. Yeah, picked it up. 3 guys hit the guy, and he just kept running and ran all the way back for a touchdown. It's like, okay. Luckily, they reviewed it and called him down by contact, Jonathan Taylor. So we still got the ball, but the fact that they even let that happen was insane.
I mean, that's an EA game if I've ever heard of one.
Just you can't do the things you're supposed to do.
Of course.
Because all they care about is Ultimate Team.
Of course. And you want to try to tell your player to do something? Good luck.
Not going to happen.
Nope.
They won't do it.
Unless you're one of those people who spends literally every waking hour playing this game, which I don't understand how those people exist.
We run into enough of those on EASHL.
Yeah.
And yeah, people that put their time and money and everything into Ultimate Team.
I really
It's like,
don't.
I'm really good at it. It's like, good for you. What's your job? You don't have one? Shocker.
Like, everybody's got their thing, and if you genuinely really enjoy spending your money and you have the spare cash to spend it on HUT or leveling up your EASHL player, can you even do that? I know you used to be able to.
I mean, you can level them up, but it just unlocks traits. It doesn't
Gotcha.
really improve the player.
Yeah, but you can spend... Can you spend money?
Not in the EASHL.
Well, if you want to spend money in HUT or whatever, then go for it. But the game is so frustrating. How do people spend all of their time playing it? I would lose my fucking mind.
If they didn't have microtransactions and it was like you play and you get chances at better stuff, then I would understand it. But the fact that people could just spend rich kids can just spend $300 and get like 20 Ovechkins that are 99 overall and just wreck everyone.
Yeah, I got to the point where I finally matured and I didn't just sit through these games and break my controllers. If a game is annoying me, I will just quit. Like, meh, I don't need this in my life, actually. Yeah. So I will try to find somebody who plays more fair. And if I get a good game, I will message them afterward and be like, hey, good game, man.
GG.
Yeah. Because there's so many trash people that play online. So if I encounter a good game, I make sure to reach out and say, hey, good game. And I've gotten some nice messages in return, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've gotten some not so good as well.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. I usually don't interact with those people unless they really catch me in a mood.
Yeah. Some would say that's me always.
It's fine.
Just don't message me, man.
This is why we love you.
The ones that I hate the most are the ones that try to invite you to a party afterwards so they can verbally berate you. And I'm like, dude, you don't want this smoke.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
I
will get banned because I will say some shit.
I love that. I obviously never join them. And it would be even worse because I'm a female playing. So when I used to stream, like back in college, I only had like the microphone that hooked up to the controller so they could still hear me while I was streaming. So they knew that I was a chick. So I would get so many messages like, go back to the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why? What? Do you think this is offending me? You just sound stupid. Like, I don't understand what their point is.
It's that that over macho mentality of only guys can do this.
But they're like, all of them are like 12 years old.
Because they think they're trying to be edgy and they're just even more childish than they should be.
Yeah. Which it just makes me laugh because like you just sound stupid. And one day, well, hopefully not everybody grows up and matures, but hopefully one day you'll look back on that and severely cringe about how you behaved.
There's so many things I cringe about myself.
Oh, me too.
And I was never even that bad. Mm-hmm. Everyone cringes at themselves. So, hey, if you're out there and you looking back and you don't want to see your old stuff, do it. And reflect and be like, I'm such a better person now. Mm-hmm. Me, not so much, but you guys, you'll be fine.
Lies. Even
Slander.
like not stuff that you cringe about, like even good stuff. Like if I go back and watch my first video, I'm like, ugh. Because you just improve things as you go along. I'm sure it's the same for you, like with designs and even podcasts and stuff.
Oh, man. I go back to... If you guys don't know my background, I'm a graphic designer on the side.
Yes.
Design that.
He makes all of our graphics.
There's the Rockford Hockey Club jersey somewhere in here, I'm sure.
They're hanging up in the closet.
Hey, I see Seattle jersey. Nice, me too.
Yeah, it's a Vince Dunn one.
Mine's blank.
Oh.
I got the inaugural season patches, but then on...
Nice. Yeah, I got
today,
it.
Actually.
I think it finally came in the night that the Hawks played Seattle the last time, and then Vince Dunn got injured, and I was like, whoops.
Voodoo.
Oopsies. But I think Seattle won that game too, so I was like, well.
Did you see Crosby's out tonight?
Yeah.
I don't want to root for injuries, but I don't want to root for Crosby either. So
I kind of want Pittsburgh
I'm not happy, but I'm not
win
upset.
the series.
I'm rooting for the Rangers because they have bread, man.
Look, typically I would root for the Rangers, but the story of Louis Domingue, it warms my heart because goalie fan.
You're a major goalie fan. I just like Crawford. I also hate Jonathan Quick, so...
And I'm also rooting for LA, which feels really gross.
I can't, because they have Dustin Brown still, and they have Quick still.
Okay, but...
I know Evander Kane's a piece of shit.
Hear me out. Mike Smith and Evander Kane.
And also Mike Smith's a piece of shit. And they can get wrecked, and they can get fucked in the next round.
And Duncan Keith, which we're over on the other side of the room now, so my Duncan Keith hats aren't going to jump off and attack me like they did the last time John and I recorded.
I've been giving them eyes the whole time, so they better
Good.
not. They'll find a way.
They will. They haven't fallen since. They had never fallen before that. That was genuinely feared for my life there.
Well, you did look at one right before, so that might have jarred something.
Or he just decided to attack me.
Or this place is haunted and wanted to attack us. That's fine, too.
Only that moment, though.
Yeah.
That's why I got a couch in here and we moved all the way to the other side of the room so my hats can no longer attack me. Should get like a Catholic priest in here to throw some holy water in it. Be gone, Duncan Keith. Be gone.
But then someone would get on me and then I'd burn. And then this wouldn't be great.
I mean, so would I.
Yeah.
We'll record it. It'll go viral. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, your background. We got way off of that.
Oh, yeah. Graphic designer. Then I really wasn't into graphic design until I worked for the IceHogs. And I looked back at some of my first year stuff. And I'm like, who greenlit this? Why? How did I keep a job there? But then you look at my new stuff and I'm pretty proud of it.
It's very good. I love everything that you make for me.
Even if it's easy.
Yes. Because I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. I hate logo design. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Ugh.
I like it when I can do it well. There's other times where I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't have ideas. I struggled on your new stuff for a week.
But they look so good. You did such a good job.
You had no idea what I did before. It's like, I don't know what that is. Nope.
I mean, that's just the process of designing things. But I think the Blackhawks should hire you, personally.
I think the IceHogs should hire
I mean,
me.
I think the IceHogs should hire you too, because I think you could do a really good job with the end game stuff, especially once we get a new Jumbotron next season.
Yeah,
and it's going to be at
boards.
Center Ice. Oh my god. Yes, from Center Ice. I might have to contact the Hogs before the season actually starts. Once they get the jumbo up and be like, let me get in there and film a video because this is huge news.
Can you put the logo on the big screen? That'd be nice.
Yes.
And then just record a podcast there.
That would be so legit. From the seats, so you can see that the jumbo is at center. Okay, this is happening. Joey?
Brandon,
Pack. Get me in there. Yep. Just contact all of my IceHogs people. I'm going to make this happen. This is going to be great. And we'll have you there and Jacqueline there, and we will record this because you created the logo.
Yeah, I'll just be like, hey guys. I'm like behind you.
You just be on
It's your podcast.
You'll
I'm
be
just a
on
guest.
the ice down at center ice, just waving the whole time. Just
yeah, the whole 4 hours where you guys are laughing.
just waving. And then your arm is like in a sling the next day because it's so tired.
I guest star on the podcast. I'm just like, I hate you guys. 4 hours.
I can't
4
use my
hours.
arm ever again. It'd be pretty funny though.
An email from the NHL. I thought something breaking news happened. It wasn't.
No breaking news. Did your jersey ship? I mean, nothing happened.
The jersey I designed, the design shipped to the person that I designed it for. Duh.
There you go. Have you designed any new jerseys lately?
No.
No?
I designed one just for fun for the Auburn Knights. If that would ever happen, that's not going to happen. There's not going to be no hockey teams for high schools.
School?
But I kind of want to make I don't know, a Nick 10
Ooh.
hockey league.
Do it.
I have Auburn. That's because I went there.
Yeah.
I could probably do Guilford next because my brother went there. I have a little more background there.
How about some E-Rabs? Excuse me. Once an
What
E-Rab,
is an E-Rab?
East red and black spirit.
They are the East red and black spirits.
Yeah.
Gross.
Are they still using a phoenix, or did they get rid of that idea?
They're using just the ERABs.
Are they?
Text font.
Because they tried using a phoenix as the logo for a while while I was there.
Well, my dad would say "Go West High," which isn't a thing anymore.
No, it's not.
They're in middle school, and that breaks his heart every time he drives past.
Oh.
The West High Warriors. I think they won a national championship in basketball.
Did they? East didn't.
Auburn didn't. They got close.
So did East.
Freddie.
Did Auburn kick out East, or did East beat Auburn that one year?
I don't
think it was
remember.
our senior year.
Your senior year. Were we the same age?
Yeah. What year did you graduate?
2011?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
You were making me double guess myself. I was like, I'm pretty sure we
Double-cross yourself.
graduated the same year.
Double guess, double cross, double
Like,
check, double
technically by month
Triple-double.
you're younger than me, but you're 29, right?
28.
28? You'll be turning 29.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are younger than me. Okay.
Duh.
Well, duh, that would make sense because your birthday's in August. So if you... Guys, I haven't had enough coffee yet.
I barely, registration for schools was always on my birthday, which means I was just at the cutoff.
Oh, wow.
I was always the youngest in school.
Jonny Rockford Day.
816, baby.
Yeah.
What comes
Forget
after
about
Rock?
815.
Yeah, it's all about 816, baby.
The most important day, really, Corey Crawford's last win in the NHL. 8/16/2020.
Hooray! I was going somewhere with that. Now I don't remember. what I was
Sorry, I brought it to a sad place.
going. I don't remember what I was talking
Registration,
about.
you were always the youngest.
Oh, yeah. I was always the youngest in class. I was always youngest in my family. And then once Braylon was born, my niece, my wonderful, beautiful niece,
She's so cute.
then all of a sudden I'm like the oldest and everything. I was the oldest on weekends at my new job. I was the oldest of my friends for a while, not the hockey friends, but like the work friends. I'm like, what is happening?
I guess
I have to be an uncle, a full-time uncle now instead of a part-time uncle. It's hard. I have to be an adult. I don't
Ew.
like it.
Adulting? That's how I felt killing his motherfucking ants all week. I was like, why does nobody else live here to take care of this? I don't want to deal with it anymore.
I had a bug story too. Actually, there was a big, it wasn't even big. There was a big, I keep saying big. It was a bulky ass spider. That big, but like bulky and
Like it was coming for you.
yeah. Like he was on my rear view mirror when I
Oh,
first got in the
no.
car and I was like, just gonna get to work now.
Oh, no.
Got to work, got out, left. I tried to shoo him out of the window and then he just went behind the rear view mirror.
motherfucker.
It's like, all right, he's just gonna be there for a while. I drove home, didn't see him. I was like, okay, thank God. Maybe he just crawled. I cracked the windows. Get back
Then
in
you're
my
just
car.
inviting more in. He's going to call his friends.
Get back in the car the next day. Look over. He's on my passenger side window, and I'm like, all right, roll the window down. Try to brush him out, and he falls to the ground. I'm like, all right, just get to work. Just get to work. Get to work. Park. Leave the windows open. Leave again. Go back home. Still not there. Didn't see him. One more time on the way to work. I see him on the passenger side door this time. Pick up this empty water bottle I drank the day before. And I rolled the window all the way down this time. Try to just scoot him out. Accidentally hit him. And he squished so easily.
Ew.
With an empty water bottle. I'm like,
Ew. Why didn't you just open the door and bat him out?
I was driving.
Oh. Yeah, don't do that then.
It was the passenger side, so I couldn't even reach.
Oh, no.
So it was like,
Ugh.
I even scraped. I was like,
Gross.
he died way easier than I thought he would.
Yeah.
Like he was bulky, but he must have been mushy because
Or he was near death from being trapped in your car.
it was pretty hot those days.
When was
So,
this?
This week.
Oh, yeah. It was
Monday, Tuesday,
really
Wednesday?
hot then. The hottest days of the year. So
It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. So yeah,
Gross.
maybe he was just so bulky because he was
He was dehydrated.
dehydrated and
Oh, that's so gross.
yeah. I had just got my sunburn the Saturday before that, so I was getting goosebumps. Like this hurts. Cool.
Yep.
You can still see it. That's why I'm so damn red on camera.
Sunburn.
It doesn't look that bad here. Then I look on your camera. I'm like, I am a lobster.
Yeah.
Call
You
me
went to
Mr. Krabs.
Cubs game?
2.
2 Cubs games.
It was a doubleheader, baby.
Ooh. Who'd they play?
The Dodgers. The NL champion Dodgers of last year, and we got smoked.
Really?
Lost 7-0 in the first game, and then had a lead in game 2 in the second inning, and then immediately gave it up in the first inning, immediately gave it up in the second inning.
Oh.
They had 2 hits that whole game, but had 6 runs. Yay, walks.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Yeah, the first game was a 7-0 game. That's the game that I just didn't think about sunscreen. And I've been red ever since.
Yeah. That's
it would have been
bad.
a week tomorrow, and I'm still red. I think I'm starting to peel.
Oh.
My face is peeling a little bit, so if you see any things, it's sunburn, I promise.
I hate that. I hate peeling. Although I like peeling the skin because it's fun when you get a big piece. You're just like, yeah, I'm a lizard.
The feeling I get when I'm peeling is not good. I tried to rhyme, didn't work. I'm not that smart.
That's all right. I hate when it starts itching though.
Yeah, that's not the point I'm at. I'm very surprised I haven't been scratching on this podcast because when I woke up, it was like...
At least you weren't bubbly.
No, I had no blisters, which
That's
was good.
Because that's real gross. And then they just pop and you're just like leaking sunburn fluid.
You mean just blister pus?
Gross.
The worst sunburn I ever got was my 6th grade year. I know that because it was a field trip. We went golfing for a field trip. It was a PE field trip. And I wore a hat that was too big for me as I just wanted to hide my face. But it stuck my ears out.
Oh, no.
And I got blisters on the tops of my ears. And boy, did that hurt.
That's one thing my mom always reminded me of was like, put sunscreen on your ears.
Yeah, my dad always reminds me of that too. And then I was like, I'll be fine.
Oh, yuck. I think my worst sunburns always came from wingding. Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah, I went to only the last one ever. And the last song played was by Shinedown called Devour.
I was going to say, is that when Shinedown was there?
And the last line of the concert was, what a way to go. And I was like, wow, haha, what a way to go, because it's the last one. And then they brought it back like idiots.
Yeah.
They had like a 2-year gap, and then they brought it back.
Yeah, I went to the last one, too. The last real one. I don't consider the comeback real ones. That was at the airport, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because it was at the Speedway before that. Mm-hmm. Did they take it back to the Speedway when they brought it back?
Don't remember. I didn't go to them.
Me
so
either. Yeah, they tried, because it was a big deal.
It was. It was a pretty big festival.
And then they were just like, meh, we're going to take it away, because that's what we do in Rockford. People love a big festival, and then they take it away, just like on the waterfront.
It's funny, because that was before wings were really that big of a thing. Like, they were starting out to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And then once it left, it just, like, exploded. V-Dubs had, like,
everybody loves
200
wings
flavors.
Now. Yeah.
When all they had was just buffalo. Maybe barbecue.
Right.
Now they have all these different flavors.
Yeah. I think the first year I went was when 3 Days Grace was there and POD and Chevelle, or those were separate years. I don't know. But I went at the Speedway and I didn't wear sunscreen because I was a dumbass and thought that, I could get a nice tan, but I didn't realize that I would be outside all day, so that was very painful sunburn. And somebody had sunscreen on their hand and like touched my arm, so I had a nice handprint on my shoulder. That's
a fun farmer's tan.
Yeah. So now I slather myself in sunscreen whenever I go outside because I am a very pale human being.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh, I am more pale than you are. I'm more pale
that.
than most people.
I don't know about that.
You're not going to be able to tell on camera, but no. It's also hard to tell because you're red right now.
I'm Jonny Rock Lobster.
You are. That was a good one. That was...
Sorry, B-52s.
Are you the B-52s?
Yeah, I am. We were at the beach.
Lobster.
Everybody had matching towels.
That song is so ridiculous.
Somebody went under the dock. There they saw a rock. But it wasn't a rock. It was a rock lobster.
Beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye. How beautiful that is. That should be your theme song now.
Jonny Rock Lobster.
Yep. You should make a logo of yourself as a lobster.
Yeah, as I don't hate myself enough.
It would be amazing.
It would be awful.
I don't know what you would use it for, but...
Me either.
You know what people should do? They should go to your website, JonnyRockford.com, and buy the Pain hoodie. I mean, it's not just a hoodie, right? Or is it just a hoodie?
Buy all of the things.
Also that.
I have not specifically IceHogs, but I have We Go Into the Offs shirt.
Which is in colors associated with the team from Rockford and the AHL.
Yeah, but there's also a black and white one that's on a whole bunch of different colors. So if you want a Leafs one, get the Leafs one.
Maybe wait till after
tomorrow.
Saturday. No, it won't. Maybe. I like your Van Riemsdyk jersey.
Thank you. I've been playing with it because I didn't know if I would need it because I don't know if it would be cold in here. It's not that cold.
No, it's...
I also was embarrassed about my rock lobsterness, so I was
fine, but we got a beautiful concert out of it. If we were downstairs in the living room, we would be actual icicles and freezing our asses off right now, but it's always so hot upstairs that I have to keep the air turned down, but then I'm miserable downstairs. It's horrible. I think I need to get like an AC person to come and figure that out.
You could do what they do at work and have different rooms, have different air.
I do need
which
that.
Doesn't work because It's been humid and hot as balls, and the one place it should probably stay cool, the studio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wasn't great.
Yeah, it was really humid in here yesterday. It was disgusting, and I was trying to film the Leafs video, and I was already upset, and then I was just dripping sweat.
I didn't get a chance to watch that. I got home and was gonna watch it, and then I passed out. So I'll watch that soon.
I kind of lost my mind in it a little bit.
Yeah.
If you watched the preview clip, you'll see that.
I did watch that. I also didn't watch Dangle yet, so I need to do that.
I haven't watched that yet either.
Is it out yet?
Yeah. He said he was going to release it last night. I never watch his videos before I make mine because I don't want them to be influenced.
The same. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I don't try to be Steve. People they say I'm the female Steve Dangle. It's just because the video format is similar.
Yeah.
But
It's the jump cuts.
yeah. If I don't do that, then it's just awkward pauses of me breathing, and it's weird. Sometimes I leave them in for like the timing of it, but most of the time I cut them out because it just sounds better and flows better.
You also don't get as loud as him, so...
I can't. Even yesterday, I was like yelling at my camera, and I listened to it back, and I was like, this...
It just sounds like you're raising your voice.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you're going, what's happening? And Charlotte's like, what's happening?
That's what it seemed like listening to it back. But yeah, I don't try to be him. And
I did watch, because it was like the top of my subscription thing. I think it was before you published yours. Of his, like, the cut down reactions of the goals. And he didn't have any audio when Tampa Bay scored the overtime winner. And he's just like, that sucks. I'm like, that's way more calm than I expected. I expected like a full hands and face like sadness, and he was like, that's unfortunate.
that was basically my reaction too, though. When I was sitting downstairs watching it, I was just like, oh.
I just expected it because it's the Leafs. It has to go. I'd say it has to go 7, but the bubble. It didn't.
It had to go
5.
5.
It has to go to the winner-take-all game before they just lose. It has to. They can't have a series that isn't the Capitals series that just goes less than that.
But maybe like the overtime last night, I was like, this feels like the Capitals versus the Penguins when they finally did it. And then Tampa scored, and I was like, well, real glad I didn't tweet that out. Would have looked like a dumbass.
You always look like I'm kidding.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm kidding. No,
You're
that's
not
a lie.
wrong.
That is
I
a
have
lie.
some bad takes on Twitter.
So do I.
That is for the
that is what Twitter's for.
Instant reaction bad takery is on Twitter. I try to be more rational on podcasts and on YouTube.
The amount of times I've typed a tweet out and I'm just like, nope, delete. I don't even save them as drafts. Just, nope. I don't want to put that out in the world.
Same.
Nothing bad. It's just it's usually sports related. I'm like,
Yeah.
Like I almost said Packers are going to the Super Bowl this year after like week 13 or whatever. After they beat the Rams. I don't know what week that was, but it's like, gotta go to the Super Bowl this year. It's like, but there's always that weird play that happens against us.
Just like the Leafs with the phantom high sticking call.
See, I didn't see any of those calls, so I don't know how bad it was, so I can't.
Especially the first one. Like, the second one did hit Hedman, but Hedman lifted... Let's see. Who had the first one? Did Camp have the first one?
The second one, I think.
It was either Camp or Kerfoot. Both of them got the calls, but I think Camp had the phantom one, where his stick touched the guy in the shoulder. I think it was Calfoot. He hit him in the shoulder.
Kerfoot?
Calfoot. Defenseman for
right.
Tampa. And then he threw his head back. It didn't even hit you in the face.
I was listening to Sirius XM on the way here, and they're like, man, it really seems like they're starting to go the NBA route of selling calls. It's like, that should be illegal. What happened to...
It is! It is! Embellishment!
Where was that in your video?
Sorry.
That was yelling.
Because I was just so...
Yeah, they don't call embellishment anymore.
I was so upset and just depressed last night after the Leafs lost because the IceHogs had already lost. And then I was like, well, I can handle that. It's only game one if the Leafs happened to do a thing. And then they got scored on. And I legitimately felt like a shell of a human being. It's like everything left my body. I was like, oh.
That's how I felt after the blocked punt in the Packers game. I know you don't have a heartbreak for that, but...
at least it wasn't a double doink.
I love that one. That was great.
I know.
I'm sure you felt the way I felt after that overtime puck went in against the Blackhawks in the Kings game, Game 7.
Oh, that
made me feel bad. I'll be honest, I was sitting in a McDonald's parking lot eating McDonald's after the game with my buddy Jordan when Tampa Bay scored, and I was just like, yep, saw that coming, and then just put the fries down, drove off. I'm like, yep.
I'm pretty sure that was just all Leafs fans' reaction. It was just like, oh.
Of course. It's like, it had to be. It has to be Game 7.
Mm-hmm. And I want to be confident because, as you were saying before we hit record, like, the team is playing better.
They looked better than the last 5 years.
And the star guys are showing up.
Tavares had goals. Mitch has looked fantastic.
Willie
Matthews has finally been playing
well. Possessed. Morgan Riley looks really good.
And there was another video, I don't remember when I watched it, but they're like, look, I know they lost in overtime, but they've played better. Mm-hmm. They look way better than they've looked.
Yeah.
Even last year when they should have. Even in the games they beat Montreal, they looked better now. But they're playing the Stanley Cup champions. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
Last year they lost 3 games or 4 games because they just got in their own way. They're not getting in their own way this time. We're at game 2. They're kind of in their own way because there was a lot of penalties. Granted, this series seems to be.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that one live because it was the same night as IceHogs game, but I watched it later.
Yeah, I was watching it live at work during my break.
Why do they always have to play the same night as the fucking IceHogs? Every time the IceHogs play, there is a Leafs game on that night. Why do you have to make this hard on me? Why? Because Saturday, tomorrow, Leafs, IceHogs, both play.
And the IceHogs won't be on TV, so that's poopy.
They won't?
No, they weren't on TV last night.
Oh, I was watching on AHL TV.
Yeah. AHL Live?
AHL TV.
Oh, what used to be AHL Live? Whatever.
Watch the AHL.com.
No, I will not watch the AHL.com.
I was in panic mode because I didn't realize there was a different package for playoffs. And so I logged on. I was like, why is there no button to watch the game? Why is there no button to watch the game? And then I went to the subscription page and it was like, new package for the playoffs. I was like, you really? We already pay so much fucking money for AHL TV when it's garbage and you make me pay separately for the fucking playoffs. It was more expensive when NHL still had Game Center. AHL TV was more expensive than NHL Game Center. And now everything's on ESPN Plus, which is like $5 a month. And just the playoffs for the AHL was like $30. It's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. They really need to move it to AHL or AHL. They need to move it to ESPN.
That's never gonna happen.
They need to.
It's never gonna happen.
Why?
ESPN barely cares about NHL. They don't have broadcast AHL games too.
They have the PHF.
The what?
The Women's Hockey League.
I knew that. Why PHF?
Premier Hockey Federation.
That's why I didn't know.
Yes, because they didn't want it to be branded. It's like
that
women.
makes sense.
Branded.
Brandon.
They didn't want it to be Brandon. They didn't want it to be branded. As,
No, you should never want to be Brandon.
I mean,
that's terrible.
Fair. Although he did hook me up with a Crawford poster.
He did. He does good things once in a while. He got me the tickets last night.
He's very nice. He's just Brandon. He's nice to me.
Nice.
You've been his best friend since you guys were like in the womb, so it's very nice to me.
And those we weren't in there together. That'd be weird.
That would be very weird.
Have a long lost.
I would have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Like, first of all, how?
I mean, I don't think.
Second of all, a month apart.
Be the first time that twins were born, one being black and one white.
Has there ever been a time where twins were born a month apart?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe.
Impossible.
It's quite possible.
There might be like a couple days between.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't think more than like a day and a half.
It's possible.
But
I don't know. I also gave him a hockey card. It was Alec Martinez celebrating his cup-winning goal with the Kings. I was sorting my cards and I saw that. I was like, this motherfucker. This has to go to Brandon.
Was it yours or was it one of mine?
It was one of mine.
Okay. I will say, as much as I hate the Kings, that is a very cool moment. Taking my bias out of it, like winning an overtime game off a rebound like that in front of your home fans, is pretty fucking cool.
No.
I hate Martinez, but...
Me too. Maybe if it was any other year, but not that year. Not that year.
Just gotta take your bias out of it sometimes.
Can't.
I hate it, but again, bias aside, that's cool as shit.
Nope.
I wish the Blackhawks could win a cup in overtime on home ice.
That would be insane.
Preferably in a sweep, but you know.
That would be cool. I mean, they did finally win one on home ice against fucking Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
which
Tampa
had one of my favorite playoff moments ever. It wasn't in that game, but when Hedman and
collided
Bishop.
with Ben Bishop.
Oh, God.
We saw our first glimpse of Vasilevsky in that series because Bishop had his groin injury.
And he was real bad, thankfully.
Yeah, he wasn't real bad. He only gave up 2 goals.
Just let me have it.
Yeah. No, that's my favorite moment from that entire playoffs. No, not true. Second favorite moment of that entire playoffs.
What's the first?
When Nashville went up 3-1 on us. And then
Was that
in the
Scott
first period,
Darling game?
No, this was when Crawford came back in. It was the clinching game 6, and it was like 3-2. And then Eddie Olczyk was like, "Nashville might want to be ready. If the Hawks win this, it might go right on net. Wins it clean to Kane, boom, score."
Oh, the Kane goal.
Yeah,
I should have remembered that. I know you've told me that before.
Yeah, just the fact that Eddie Olczyk's like, they win it clean, it's probably going in. Mm-hmm. Bam, in. I was like, Addy! And then Dunk scores the game winner 2 periods later, and the rest is history.
Man, that series was
That was a roller coaster.
very much so for my emotions, too. Especially, like, after Corey gets pulled for Scott Darling, and then Darling becomes this hero because of the one save. And this isn't like a knock on Scott Darling. It's just, Crawford. But then everybody was like, you can't put him back in. You got to run with Scott Darling, and he's the savior of the playoffs, which, granted, had we not had Scott come in, then we probably would have lost in the first round. But then when that game happened and Corey came back in and then ran with it to the cup. I was living in Chicago at that time during that first round.
I was still working with the IceHogs. I was working upstairs during the first period and second period, really, where they went down 3-0. I'm like, well, that's not a good start. That game's over. Put my phone away. Next thing I look, it's 3-3. I'm like, never mind.
Let me pick this back up.
Then went to double overtime? I went home and Brandon went up. I don't know if it was up before. I think he was still working there, but he needed a ride home, so we just brought him to our house. Mm-hmm. Just watch the rest of the game, then we'll take your ass home. Mm-hmm. And we were all just talking, and then like Duncan Keith scored. We're like, oh, yay! Anyway,
it happened. Yeah, I will never forget the triple overtime game from that series. Was it game 1?
From that series?
Yeah.
It was game 4.
Was it?
Yeah. Because we got destroyed in game 2. Rockford got pulled in game 1. Darling won.
That was only game 1 when he got pulled?
Yeah, and then he went back in game 2 and then got let up again. So Darling started the next 4 games. Game 3 was in Chicago as we were on the road to start that series. Came in, I think we won, 3-1 or something. And it was tied 2-2 in game 4. Went to triple overtime, and then a minute into triple overtime, Siebes scored.
I'll just never forget that because I had a final paper to write because I was in college my senior year.
And you were like, I'm going to do it after the game.
Yep.
Overtime 1 happens. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Just score early. Overtime 2. Score, please.
Oh, please score.
At this point, anyone.
It was due the next day. That was rough.
And then overtime 3, it's like, I just want somebody to go, oh, cool. Good.
I'm just glad the Blackhawks won that game because had Nashville won in triple overtime and then I had to... Yeah. I got an A on that paper, though.
Good for you.
Yeah, there was lots of coffee made.
I don't like coffee, but I would have had a lot of energy drinks. I always did my best work, the night before things were due.
Me too.
I can't just plan things.
I can't either. They always turn out shitty whenever I do it. Mm-hmm. It has to be last minute. I don't know if it's my ADHD brain or what, but...
Sometimes if I don't actually have, a due date, I'll just make ones. I need to get this done before this day because then I'm super busy, and then all my plans get canceled because...
That's a lot of the reason why there were less videos this year. I mean, aside from just being burnt out and not really feeling like talking about hockey, but I was just like, I have to do this. But, I didn't make one for the last game, so I should probably talk about that one too. And then this, blah, 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 blah. And
then all of a sudden I have to talk about 2 weeks worth of games.
Exactly. Then I'm like, I just need to find a milestone something to make a video and then just keep talking from there, and then it just never happened. So I was like, playoffs, this works great, and it has.
Yeah.
Especially because I went on a trip the week before playoffs, so I got to clear my head a bit and get out of Rockford. So then I came back from New York and I was like, playoff time, let's go, and I haven't really stopped since.
It's good.
Yeah. It's felt really nice. Aside from
my thing is I have a podcast too, as I've plugged before.
Mm-hmm. Plug it again.
ZB&J podcast. We have 2 Brandons now because we were tired of one not being able to, so we have a sub in.
Substitute Brandon. Who is also named Brandon.
Yeah, and then we want IceHogs Brandon to bring his girlfriend on when we talk about wrestling one this time. So it would be the ZBBQ and J podcast. Z barbecue.
BBQ. That's fantastic. You should make him bring some jerk chicken over that he barbecued.
Well, he'll be making some on his birthday, I think.
For the fire.
Yeah. But before it was a lot of it's mostly when we don't do stuff. It's mostly because our schedules aren't working now because I work nights like an idiot, and then that
does make things difficult.
Yeah, and so I have to do that we have to do it now, noon, even though I don't work tonight, or as I look at the clock, it's 2, or wait for a day off for me, but then they might not have a day off. But another part of it is I don't want to edit everything because we record 3 episodes a day usually.
Oh God!
We have our long one that's usually just us 3 talking about, usually a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of football all together. And then we'll make one that's focused on a certain subject. Mm-hmm.
And what does that feel like?
We try really, really hard to stay on subject in that one. And the main one, we'll have 4 topics we want to hit, and we'll maybe hit one.
Welcome to From Center Ice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the off topic.
Yeah.
That's my slogan. Is we're getting way off topic. I have it on a hoodie. On my ZB&J logo.
That's fantastic. What's the 3rd episode then?
We do the one main episode, then we do 2 Uncrustables, we call them, where we cut off the excess because we want to.
I like it.
Because ZB&J sounds like PB&J.
I like it.
And then Uncrustables is a PB&J sandwich.
Yep.
You get it at school. You get it.
I like it.
There's things. I finally redid the the promo picture for those, and I made it look like the Uncrustables box.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
It's fun. But yeah, those are supposed to be kept under an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones, like, we'll try to make it a little over an hour, and then sometimes we have to just cut all the other topics. Like, it's an hour and a half. I don't have time to edit that, so bye. And I don't like editing that because I have to listen to everything. Mm-hmm. I have to just listen to it while I'm doing other stuff, and
Yep.
It's a lot. It's a lot of commitment.
That is the tough part. Before I started making YouTube content and recording podcasts, I'd watch other people, obviously. They talked about like getting an editor. I was like, why? It's so easy. But now I know. Because it's not just the time that you have to take to record the podcast episode or the video or whatever you do. Then comes the edit. And while it's not difficult at all.
It's just time consuming.
So time consuming.
And somebody like me who has a full-time night side job, like I don't have time to do that. Mm-hmm. And when I do, I'd rather just not do it because I've just worked for 9 hours. Mm-hmm. And it gets tough sometimes. And everyone's like, where's the new episode? The guys, credit to them, like they've offered. I'm like, I have the equipment, I have everything, I should do it.
I feel the same way. Plus, I'm just kind of a control freak, so I'm like, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I need to find the motivation because when I'm working all the time, I just don't have the motivation.
Man, I felt that this year hard.
And in sports, it's like you have to get it done like that night.
It's timely.
Otherwise, it's already out of date. And it's like if you wait a week, you're out of date.
That was my problem this year. It's like, well,
especially
it happened.
With hockey. Especially with hockey, and especially with baseball.
Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine having a baseball
game a day
podcast.
or 2 games a day, and they have to. I can't imagine working in baseball. I would hate it. I would hate my life.
Like, how do you not get burnt out immediately?
I mean, your summers are booked.
How many games do they play?
150, 160.
That is so like double a hockey season.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then sometimes they do have.
How many games are played in an MLB season?
162 games, according to Wikipedia.
All right, that's enough.
Oh my God.
162. That's more than.
Nope.
That is about double.
That's not okay. Are there people that do videos after every single baseball game?
I would assume it'd be after every series.
Yeah,
That'd
makes sense.
More sense.
I wish hockey would go back to the series thing like they did during the
COVID,
the pandemic years.
Yeah.
Even though we're still in fucking pandemic, people.
Don't tell people in Chicago that. Wisconsin they don't know what the pandemic is.
They don't know that word.
I went there like mid 2020. It was like in September when everything started to die down a little. I mean, right back up, but I was wearing a mask and my dad was wearing a mask, and we looked around, I was like, nobody's wearing a mask here.
Yeah. When I drove to New York
outside.
This past time, I didn't see one single mask until I got to Pennsylvania, where I stayed overnight before driving into the city. And I went to the gas station to get some food, and I saw one person wearing a mask. So Illinois, nope. Indiana, nope. Ohio, nope. Most of Pennsylvania, nope. It's just that one. But thankfully in New York, a lot of people are still wearing them, like even on the sidewalks and on the trains and stuff. I was like, oh, this is so much better. There's a lot of people who aren't because it's not required anymore, but there were definitely a lot more of them. I felt better about that.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. I bought N95s to wear to IceHogs games because I don't trust anybody.
Fair.
I walked in and Brandon was like, really? With the mask? I was like, I don't trust these people. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Especially with numbers rising again? Hell no. Get out of here. I haven't gotten COVID this whole time. I don't want to start now.
I wear mine around people that I know can't be vaccinated or aren't.
Yeah.
But if I know people are vaccinated, like you, I'm like, I don't have to.
But you still did when you came over to see me.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated.
Of course. Because I don't know about those other people.
Yeah.
So I didn't wear them by my dad because we were kind of by ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still have one in the car just in case. There were people at the Wolves game last night wearing them. I think they were all IceHogs fans. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, they were wearing them. There weren't a lot, but
yeah, the Wolves fans that I know, my girlfriend and her mom, I still don't know how this happened to me, but they stopped going to games too because of COVID. It's like, man, this sucks. because they're season ticket holders for the Wolves. They sit right behind the penalty box.
Like Blackhawks fans.
Yep. I know. I've had this conversation. I've tried to figure it out. At least they live in the suburbs, so like proximity-wise, it makes sense. But still.
The dude I was talking about last time that was chanting Rockford sucks, who was a Blackhawks fan but cheering for the Wolves, he's at least from Des Plaines, which is right next
there.
door. So it's like, that I understand. It's kind of a hometown team.
Yeah.
I get it. And he was a fan since before the IceHogs came into the AHL.
Okay.
So I understand.
Yeah.
But to actively root against the IceHogs is
I know.
still like...
Which, if I was a Wolves fan, I probably would too because of the rivalry, but I don't know that I could be if I was a Blackhawks fan because those are your prospects. It's never made sense to me.
Root against the guys that are just signed to the AHL, PTOs, not the
Yeah.
NHL guys, which IceHogs don't have too many just AHL guys right now.
No,
A lot of
Garrett
them are
Mitchell,
Blackhawks.
Dylan McLaughlin, Carson Gisevich,
Oops.
DJ Buzdecker.
I'm too far off screen.
Oh. Ryan Stanton.
The GOAT. He was there.
He was pretty good in the first
season.
round.
He took a bad penalty towards the end of the game.
Did he?
It got chippy.
I mean, it's the Wolves
I know.
anyways.
And
Hogs.
they've only played each other 13 times now.
I know. God, they play each other so much. But yeah, I've asked her about it, and she's like, I root for them once they are Blackhawks, just not while they're IceHogs. I'm like, what? But she hit me with a good line once because I was like, well, they're your future Blackhawks. And she was like, well, with the way they're playing, they're not going to be. I was like, oh. That was back when they were real bad, like a year or two ago. I was like, that was a good one. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. You're not wrong.
I mean, thinking back, like, how many IceHogs we've had and how many, like, actually made an impact. Mm-hmm. Who would you, other than Crawford, who would you think is the biggest former IceHog to be, like, a name stay with the Blackhawks?
I mean...
I have two in mind.
The biggest or the most popular?
I guess both.
Okay, so the biggest would probably be Hjalmarsson. And then most popular would be Andrew Shaw.
Those are the two I was thinking.
Or Brandon Saad.
I was thinking those two as well. Fuck Saad, he's a Blue now.
Yes.
Even
So
though
is Nick Leddy.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
Which I totally forgot was a thing till he scored a goal last night. Mm-hmm. I forgot he was with the Red Wings too. It's like ever since he left the Islanders, my brain doesn't process that he still exists.
Yeah, same. And they moved on last night. So they're going to get whooped by Colorado. It's fine.
Hopefully.
I honestly think if the Wild beat the Blues, I think the Wild probably have a good chance to beat Colorado because they just own them.
They really do.
Like they own one of the biggest upsets against the Avalanche of all time, which was back in like 2006.
Really?
That's when they had Andrew Brunette. He scored like an overtime.
Man.
Yeah.
Head coach of the Florida Panthers.
Yeah. That's weird. And then
Former Blackhawk. That was a thing.
I think it was definitely a Brunette. Maybe I thought it was Andrew.
It was Andrew.
Yeah. They beat them, and Colorado, I don't know if they won the President's Trophy. They're like the number one seed, and they got beat.
Well, that would be
I
the
think.
President's Trophy.
Well, I mean,
In the West.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Maybe the number 2 seed or something, but
Yeah.
everyone was like, Colorado's a Super Bowl. The Super Bowl contender. They're crossing paths.
Scored a touchdown. Go Broncos.
Anyway. But they were like a favorite to win the Stanley Cup, and the Wild beat them and then got destroyed in round 2. Or maybe they got to the conference finals that year.
The Wild?
Yeah, they've been there once, I think. Again, I was listening to the Sirius XM. I think they were
Yeah.
talking about the Wild. Pretty sure.
Well, they beat them again.
Beat them again in 2014.
Was it 2014?
Yeah, in Game 7
I just
in
remember
overtime.
the picture of sad Ryan O'Reilly sitting in the locker room after they lost
Yeah.
before he went to Buffalo. And was that when he drunkenly crashed his car into a Tim Hortons?
I
When
don't
he was
remember.
in Buffalo.
Probably.
Since
You'd probably want to be drunk if you're playing for Buffalo.
I
so
mean,
that makes
fair.
more sense.
Although they have some promise now. Now that Jack Eichel's gone.
The cancer.
Yeah. Oh, God. I can't tell you how happy I am that,
Vegas is out of the playoffs.
yep. and that it was partially due to the Blackhawks also. Even though Dallas also won that night, so it wouldn't have really mattered. But it doesn't matter because the Blackhawks did beat them.
Blackhawks beat them first.
Exactly.
So
they kicked them out, even though it wouldn't have mattered.
And seeing Brandon's
weren't you?
Seeing Brandon's sad face was just...
Talk about confused fans.
He's a Wolves fan, but he works for the IceHogs, but he's a Vegas fan.
And cheers for the IceHogs, but he's a Wolves fan. But also, is he a Blackhawks fan? Depends on the day.
That's just Brandon. Depends on the day, any day for him with any team.
Depends on who's winning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Except Vegas, he's stuck pretty closely with that one.
He has, but they've also been pretty good since they started. Year,
now that they have Jack Eichel.
Yeah, we'll see if he's good. If he's still a Golden Knight fan next year. It usually takes about 2 years of being bad for him to jump off.
Okay.
I remember he was a Bears fan when I first met him.
He was?
Yeah, because his dad was a Bears fan. And then once they were really, really bad, he became a Saints fan.
Once they were really bad? They've been good?
Hey, they went to a Super Bowl in, what, 06?
Yeah. And then what happened?
And they were good. And then, yeah. And then the Saints started getting good. And then he won a Super Bowl. And so he became a Saints fan because he loved Drew Brees. And then RG3 came in the league. And all of a sudden he was a Redskins fan. Sorry, Washington fan.
Washington football team.
It was that name back then. But
yes.
They're the Commanders now, ma'am.
Are they?
Yeah. The logo is the same. It's just a W. But
wow.
Yeah. Then he became a Washington fan for a year, and then RG3 got hurt and wasn't ever the same. He went back to the Saints.
Yeah,
then,
he just kind of disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah. And then the Legion of Boom happened, so he became a Seattle fan. And then they disappeared quickly, so he became a Saints fan again because of Drew Brees.
Why would you throw the ball on the 1 yard line? I will never get over that. I have no rooting interest in Seattle, but I will never get over that Super Bowl play.
And then he went back to the Saints.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Every time somebody mentions Seattle, I'm like, why would you throw the ball on the 1 yard line?
On second down, like you had time. On third down, it makes a little more sense.
When you have the best running back in the league.
Especially those 2 years. Then he became a Saints fan, and now that Drew Brees is retired, he's a Tampa Bay fan because of Tom Brady.
Ew.
So when Tom Brady retired for that, like not even a month,
that was so fucking stupid.
He was like, well, now I don't know who I'm going to root for. I'm like, the Saints. That should be your team.
Can come back to the Bears.
Why would you want to do that? They're going to be shit this year.
They sure are.
They have nobody. They have Justin Fields.
They got rid of everybody. Why did they do that? They just started getting rid of people. Got rid of Mac. Got rid of
Allen Robinson.
Yep. They got rid of other people. They let Tariq Cohen go.
He was hurt though. He hasn't played in like 2 years.
But I still like him. I don't know. I haven't really.
He's very short.
He is, but he's so good.
He was. I doubt he'll be good now that he's been gone for 2 years.
He will be. I mean, Jonathan Taves came back. Tariq Cohen can come back.
That was a year, and he's not been the same.
No, he hasn't. I haven't really paid that close of attention to the Bears because hockey's been a thing, and the Bears are just sad-making. But yeah, they got rid of everybody.
Yeah. They don't have any corners now.
Poor Justin Fields.
I don't think they have Eddie Jackson anymore.
He doesn't have a chance. I think that was the other name I was trying to think of.
They
got rid of.
Did Akeem Hicks leave too?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
They have nobody left.
They out of nowhere, the Bears were like, "We're gonna blow this up, and we're gonna never give Justin Fields a chance to be good, just like we did with Mitch Trubisky."
It's because they got rid of their GM and now they have a different GM, and
I mean, he was
wanting to make
shit
things his
too.
So was the coach.
They need to sell the team. Sell it. Somebody else.
The McCaskies don't know what they're doing.
That's because they're decrepit.
Well, one is.
But she runs the thing.
Yeah. I'm sure it's more of her sons than anything, but yeah. They haven't known since George Halas died what to do. Huh. As a non-biased football fan, they need to move ownership and start thinking with football in mind and not money, because you guys aren't making any money.
And they're like one of the biggest names, the Chicago Bears. They would be even better if they could actually, play football.
They're not a bigger name than Green Bay Packers.
No. Well, one has had significantly more success, and that would lead to that, and has just had generational quarterbacks one after another, so...
And then after another, Jordan Love, baby!
Sure. I just feel bad for Justin Fields.
I felt bad for Trubisky.
Me too. Mitch deserved better.
He looked really good that year when they went to the playoffs.
He
Like, legitimately.
He could have been better, but Matt Nagy was a fucking moron.
One double doink changed the course of, like, everyone's career. It's great.
It's horrible.
And
I
one
feel bad
blocked
for him.
punt. Get rid of Devontae Adams.
Is he still with Buffalo?
Yep. I think no.
Trubisky?
He was signed to be the starter for Pittsburgh, and then they drafted that dude out of Pitt.
Trubisky was? Mm-hmm. Oh, Mitch.
And then then they drafted the quarterback out of Pittsburgh. And it's like, ha, psych, Mitch.
Ugh.
Kind of what they did. Kind of what the Bears did to Andy Dalton last year. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we signed you to be the starter. Psych, here's Justin Fields.
They did do that. They gave him a lot of money.
You'll be week 1 starter, but probably not long after that.
And then they were like, Justin Fields is the starter now. But Dalton did get injured. But this is the Bears. Everybody gets fucking injured. They're made of wet tissue paper.
They also had Nick Foles, who they just who they were just like, yeah, bye. And they cut him, released him.
Did they?
Yeah, he's no longer on the team, but that's like a lot of dead salary cap on your books.
Yeah, well.
You traded everybody, so that Mac deal cost you guys big.
Why did they get rid of him?
His first round pick or second round pick, whatever they got for him.
Okay. I mean, it's not like they would have been good this year anyway, but I don't know. I can't pay as much attention to football as I do to hockey. I would go insane.
See, that's the opposite with me. Like, when football season's going on, I'm paying more attention to football. Because the Packers are good and the Blackhawks are not. So I'm like,
This is true.
I watch football.
This is true.
And they were very good this year. Best team in the league. And then
they weren't.
And then their offense just
And
shriveled
you were very
up.
sad.
I was very sad.
I kind of felt bad, but not too bad because like the Packers, but I felt bad for you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Because we just can't.
Yeah.
Hey, the only way to not lose an NFC Championship game is to not get there.
I mean, true.
I honestly think we would have won the Super Bowl had we gotten past that game.
Who did they get eliminated by?
The 49ers, Rodgers can't beat them.
Really?
He's only beat them twice.
Really? In his whole career?
Once was because Donald Driver went insane and caught like a little 5-yard pass and turned it into like a 60-yard just trouncing. He just
Those
bowled
plays are
over like
so
12
fun.
people. Donald Driver's the best. He's the one that made me fall in love with football. Him and Aaron Rodgers were just fun to watch. And then they won in 2013. Whatever year Kaepernick sucked. Like his first year that he sucked. And they won because Kaepernick sucked.
Oh.
And we haven't beaten him since.
Interesting.
No, that's not true. We beat them in 2020 because they all had COVID when we played them.
Well,
So they were either injured or had COVID, so we played like a team of backups and we killed them.
gotcha.
But we haven't beat them any other time.
It's
So
usually
he's won
like
2 times.
the opposite in hockey. You get a team full of backups and then they just dominate. I mean, as long as it's the Pittsburgh Penguins. Like that trouncing they had of the Leafs when they had nobody in the lineup. It's like, what, 7-2 or something? 7-3.
I think Crosby's only beaten the Blackhawks like twice.
Really?
Twice or 3 times in his however many years.
Yeah, the Hawks have done pretty good against them.
Because
We had a fucking elite goaltender in net and nobody realized it, and now we don't, and people are like, why are we losing games?
Well, I mean, I will say our defense was better back then, but 2015 our defense was like starting to show like we're not that good.
We had like
We had Duncan Keith, who was still in his prime.
3.5 defensemen
We had Jalmerson
and Siebes.
and Seabrook, and that was pretty much all we had.
The ghost of Chemo Timonen.
Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who was just
TBR. His brother.
yeah.
I was
Who
so happy when we got Trevor because I like James.
Yeah, I did too. But TVR was just a person to plug in there. He wasn't really that good. And then we had
We had Aduya.
we had
got
Oduya, who
him
was
back.
one-handed that whole playoff run.
Oh, right. He had a wrist injury, didn't he?
So he was
I
half a
totally
man.
forgot about that.
And then we would rotate him with
Timonen.
no, because
Somebody else?
yeah, there was somebody else who kept rotating. I think it was Timonen and somebody else. He was an ice.
Was it Forsling?
It might be Forsling. That might be who I'm thinking. Anyway, we had 3 defensemen that year, and we still won the Stanley Cup because Crawford's amazing.
And got a shutout in Game 6.
Mm-hmm. Every game we won, he only gave up 1 goal or none.
I will say
We won because of Crawford, and people never give him enough credit.
they don't.
Unless you talk to Blues fans, they're like, "Oh no, the Blackhawks fans love Corey Crawford." It's like, you're
Where
not.
have you been for the last decade?
Me and Courtney love Crawford.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the extent of the people that loved Crawford.
I'm pretty sure we have been fighting
dad,
with
too.
people for the past decade that, oh my God. When people try to tell me that Crawford had respect from people, I'm like, you don't understand what I've been through. The things that I've seen.
He didn't have respect when he was an ice hog.
Really?
Yeah, like when they called up Niemi instead of Crawford, my dad was like, "Why didn't they take him? Like, Crawford's clearly better." And I was like, "No, Niemi's gonna be the best goalie the Blackhawks ever had." And it's like he was there for a year, dude.
And he wasn't even
job.
that good.
No, they won despite Niemi that year.
Yeah.
He gave up so many goals that
I
year.
mean, he was like my first goalie love.
I liked him too. And then I saw Crawford. I'm like, oh,
I know. It was kind of funny because Niemi left because of the offer sheet. And that's like the one thing that I will give Stan Bowman credit for is that he actually stuck with Crawford through all of those years when everybody was saying that they shouldn't. The one thing you get credit for. But anyway, I was like, oh no, my goalie left. Whatever will I do? And I was like, oh, we have to have 2 new goalies now. And then, silly me. And then Crawford and Mr. Turco.
yeah.
And Turco was the starter, and then Corey was like, you know what? I'm just going to win a boatload
You're
of games.
old, so just move over.
Yeah.
Turco was very like supportive of him. He was like,
Yeah.
dude, like obviously I'd rather
I think
start,
that was like the
but
role. That
I think
they
he
were-
knew what he was getting into. He's like, I know I'm
Yeah.
just the mentors. That was his last year, wasn't it?
I
And did
think
he play one more year after the Hawks as a backup? I was really close to his retirement. I know. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't really that old, but he was like,
Yeah.
I've been a starter. I couldn't get it done. So
But he did open the door to the bench, and somebody fell through it, and that was good. Was it against the Blues? I feel like it was
I
against
don't
the Blues.
remember that.
I just remember that GIF going around the internet.
Was 2012 also Crawford and Emery? Or was that 13-14 seasons? I thought we had Emery for 2 years. Rest in peace,
Obviously, it was 2013.
buddy. Yeah.
I think it might have been 12 as well. Rip Razor.
Yeah. That was sad. I was very devastated when I found that out.
Me too.
I think we've talked about that before,
Yeah.
but I feel like we've talked about a lot of the same stuff.
I mean, nothing good has happened lately for us to talk about. So we're just like, you know what? Let's talk about our
If the
wonderful.
Leafs had won last night, we'd be celebrating, but here we are. Or if the IceHogs had won last night, we'd be celebrating, but here we are.
Yeah, instead we could go down into those pits of despair. But who have you thought was good for the IceHogs?
That's kind of a loaded question.
Not last night. We're not talking about last night. Just in general.
All time?
Yeah.
Well, you said the 2 people I were thinking of, like the 2 biggest names, would be either Jomerson or Shaw. Mm-hmm. With Assad being like another, not counting Crawford.
Yeah,
I
obviously
think Crawford's number 1.
Yeah.
I think people will disagree. That's fine.
Obviously, I also agree. I
I
don't
was
think
going
that
to say
needs to
something
be
bad,
said.
but I don't want to say anything bad. I don't want to insult your viewers.
I do it all the time.
Oh man, that's tough.
Oh, I was going to say that the Blackhawks made like the best trade ever when they sent Mark McNeil to Dallas to get Johnny Oduya back for that 15 run.
I don't want to talk about McNeil.
I was so happy when he left.
I don't want to talk about McNeil.
Okay, but I was so happy when he left. Anyway, moving on.
Was that Roosevelt in 15?
Yes.
He got hurt in the Minnesota series.
Yes, he broke his fucking ankle.
And that's why either Forsling,
Yes.
whoever was
Yes.
rotating in.
Oh my God.
Did he ever play after that? Or was he
No.
done? He retired after.
Did they bring him back for the next year and then he just like played a game and
I don't remember.
oh, Rosie.
But I remember Roosevelt in 2015 breaking his ankle, and I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah, cuz he couldn't pivot to go back the other way and
He fell on it.
Wow, that dredged up memories that I had buried very deep.
That came from me trying to think of IceHogs. And I was like, that's a weird
Somehow you
thing.
end up with Michael
Yeah.
Roosevelt.
Oh, Kruger.
Kruger.
Was underappreciated when we had him the first time.
He was. Just like
He
David
was-
Kampf.
Yeah, he was the role player that, like, he could kill penalties well.
Mm-hmm.
He could get in dirty. I think Ben Smith was very underappreciated when he was a Blackhawk.
I completely agree. If he didn't have concussion problems, he would have had a longer career in the NHL.
Yeah. He was the best in Gretzky's office, just behind the net. He would always, if he got tied up, he would always come out with it himself.
He was kind of like a good mixture of Kruger and Hagel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had speed and skill, but he was also really defensively responsible.
Yeah.
Oh, Benny. God bless you. He was one of my first favorite players, too. But he did captain the Marlies to a Calder Cup.
Yep, that was the same year.
Beat Texas.
Yep, that was the year. Had the Blackhawks gotten to the Calder Cup finals, they would have absolutely got destroyed by the Marlies.
Yeah.
Nobody was beating the Marlies that year.
Yeah.
But that was the same year that the IceHogs could have went there, and they didn't. But
Because of Texas. But then the Marlies killed Texas.
I wasn't there when Ben Smith was on the IceHogs. By the time I started, he was already up at the Hawks for good. But I heard he was like the nicest guy in the locker room.
That's what I've also heard. And then they traded him to San Jose for Andrew Desjardins, which
It
ended
worked
up
out.
working out for the Blackhawks. But I was very mad at the time when that happened because I love Benny. I was also really mad when they traded, oh God, why is his name? I could see his name, or see his face perfectly.
I see his name perfectly.
Stephen Johns. Good God. When they traded Stephen Johns to Dallas to get Sharp back. Or no, they traded him with Sharp to get rid of his money, right?
Sure.
I just know that Sharp was involved in this trade, and so was Stephen Johns, and I will forever be mad about that because I will die on the hill that he would have been a great defender for the Blackhawks, and he would have worn a letter, but then he went down there and had concussion issues, and God, he's had a very sad story since then. But he seems to be on the rebound and living his best life now that
Yeah, wasn't he like close to...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say the word, but
then he
but
did
he fought
his
out
whole
of it
like
and came back and
skating across the United States thing, and that was
cool.
really cool.
I think
I love Stephen Johns forever.
I think the IceHogs are trying to get him to come through Rockford because a lot of fans wanted to say hi, but I don't think he did. But good for him, man. Good for you finding a life after hockey and
Absolutely
loving life again.
Yeah.
If hopefully he is still in.
I hope so.
Indeed, do. I haven't heard much from him since, so I hope he's still good.
I follow him on Instagram, so I see his updates once in a while.
He's the one that ended the Stars season back in 2014.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe 2013. 13, 14? Because it was a playoff series. It was a best of 5. And we swept them again.
Beautiful.
And it was an overtime game, just like it was this past, postseason. And he took it from he picked it off at center ice, came around, spun around the goal, and scored to win the series. And then he would go there 2 years later.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he was playing for Dallas before he got injured.
He was. But then he had the concussions. But I swear that he would have been a really valuable defenseman for the Blackhawks. It's just his demeanor on the ice and the way he would communicate with his defensive partner. I was like, you're a leader, Steven. But then he had a very unfortunate turn in his hockey career. So I hope that things are going well for Stephen Johns.
Yeah, I think he would have been good. I always think about him as one of the great white buffaloes of ones that got away.
Yep.
Another one that got away, Teravainen. I'll be honest, I didn't hate the trade.
I didn't hate the trade either.
Obviously, I'd like to have him now, but at the time, he just didn't fit. There was not a place for him.
He was good in that final series with Antoine Vermette. And
he was good against Anaheim. And
who else was
Lightning.
on their line? It was Vermette, Tavo.
Wasn't Desjardins?
Was it Desi?
No, he was on the Shaw line.
Who else was on their line? Doesn't matter.
It was Sharp, wasn't it? Or was he with Taves?
It might have been.
Because Sharp had a really good first round
Yeah.
against Minnesota or Nashville, and then he disappeared until the Ben Smith or the Ben Bishop play.
Sharp's best NHL goal ever. Oh God, that was so funny. That was game 5, I want to say.
I remember him in he became my favorite in the 2010 playoffs.
Sharpie?
Yeah. Especially the Flyer series. He just, I don't know, the way he
And we got him from the Flyers. How funny.
the former apparently he used to play for the Wolves too.
Sharp?
When he was in the AHL.
Really?
That's what I think. One of the Black is because Doc kept saying the former Chicago Wolf product. so-and-so, and I thought it was Sharp.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
look that up.
That was, I watched that. That was timed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was somebody else. Patrick
That would be interesting.
B. Sharp.
Patrick Sharp, beautiful man.
Dude's a stud.
I wonder what he's doing these days. He was doing a pretty good job on the broadcast for NBC.
Yeah, and then they're just like, well, we're trading everyone.
Yeah, we're done now. Philly, University of Vermont.
It wasn't him.
Phantoms.
It was like he was never on the AHL.
He played for the Phantons.
Oh,
The Phantons.
The Phantons?
The Philadelphia Phantoms. I guess
the
before they
Lehigh
were the
Valley.
Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Yeah, nope.
No, it was somebody. Maybe it was a Flyer. I don't know.
Well, now I'm going to have to go look through all of the rosters from that series and see who was on the Chicago Wolves. It might have been a Flyer. It might not have been. Maybe it's one of the...
Sharp was a Flyer, I know.
Yeah, he was.
Anyway, somebody was a former Wolf. Maybe it was a Flyer. I don't remember. Might have been a Wolf. A Flyer, I mean. I forgot what we were talking about before that.
Me too. Now
My memory sucks. Good
Oh.
IceHogs?
Yes, good IceHogs. Let's see. Did Bufflin play for the IceHogs?
He did.
He did.
He never played a game at the BMO.
Really?
Yeah. The first year they were with the IceHogs and he was there, they were renovating, and so like the first 2.5 weeks were on the road, and he got called up like 2 weeks into the season and never came back down.
Oh, wow.
So he played for the IceHogs, but he never put on a white sweater. He only had the
That's
red
funny.
one.
Let's see. Who else?
I'm trying to think of IceHogs that have been Blackhawks now.
There were a lot during like the first 2 cup years. And obviously 15 as well, but because you still had some holdovers. We had Michael Layton.
That was after though.
I know.
But I love Lates. He was a great guy.
And he was very good on the ice for the IceHogs while he was here.
Yeah, when he
Shutout king.
Yeah, I was there when he both tied and broke the record. I was on
Really?
the ice during that. I had to film him. That was fun. When he did his Leighton's Minions thing, where he had the people there, he bought like kind of expensive bottles of wine for everyone that helped out, including my boss.
Oh, wow.
Even all I did was like make a graphic for him
Yeah.
one time.
Oh, Lates. Such a nice
But Leighton,
guy.
he was such a good dude. He would always say hi to everyone he could when he was downstairs. Great guy.
I met him when he came back as he was with the
Charlotte.
Checkers? Yeah. I stood outside the visitor's door and then got a picture with him. He was very nice. I think that was the same night Brandon Maschenter got a hat trick on him, who is now an assistant coach for the Jacksonville Icemen.
Wow.
I know, right? It's kind of funny to watch guys who were in your organization and see where they go from there.
That was the day we played his welcome home video for Lates.
Yeah.
I made that.
I was in a box that time. I wasn't in my seats. It's weird.
You were not from Center Ice.
I wasn't. It was before the podcast
Tear
anyway.
it down. Well, still.
I know. Who else?
Darling.
Oh, yeah. Ranta,
Ranta.
who's playing in a Game 7 tomorrow for Carolina, because Carolina has just shit the bed against Boston.
I hate Boston. I hate them more now than I did before because they don't have Tuca anymore. Underappreciated.
He was very underappreciated, too.
I hate playoff Rask. Why? He got you to 2 Stanley Cups, Eastern Conference Finals a couple of times.
Right. It wasn't his fault that they lost to the Hawks.
Yeah, and he was the backup when they did win, which sucks because they only had, what's his face, for 2
Tim
years.
Thomas.
Only had him for 2 years.
Then he fucked off to the middle of the woods. Good old Tim Thomas. But now
Delia.
they have... Oh, yeah, Colin. Gotta love Colin. Now they have Swayman in Boston, though, and he's going to be pretty good.
Delia was one of those guys that would just be down for any video ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Taco Tuesday thing was an intern idea.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he's like,
Those
"I'm
were
down."
fun.
Yeah.
Those were a lot of fun.
I didn't touch them, so...
Oh.
I didn't like them. I didn't care.
Stupid videos.
No, I didn't mind playing them.
Colin's such a good... He was there for both of the games last week at the BMO. I'm so curious if he would be interested in coming back next season, like on an AHL deal, if he doesn't get an NHL deal.
Delia?
Delia. So he seems to like Rockford.
Yeah, he's a Blackhawk right now. Sheldon Brookbank. That was it wasn't.
You're right. Brookbank was there.
Yeah, Brookbank. It wasn't.
Was that 13 or was it 15?
It was 15. It
Was
wasn't
it?
Forsling. It was Brookbank that would be subbing in. I think Forsling was after that.
Okay.
I don't think he won a cup.
Okay.
I remember.
No. Because we got Forsling while I was in college. Because I remember sitting in my dorm room when the trade happened. Doesn't mean he was with the Blackhawks, but he was in the organization.
Okay.
That just popped into my
Might
head.
have still been with the IceHogs.
He might have been, yeah.
Okay.
Sheldon Brookbank. And then he became an assistant coach and then an assistant coach for the Blackhawks. And then
Now
goodbye.
he's fired. Bye.
Just like the other two assistant coaches for the IceHogs with
Year
Mark
before.
Crawford now and Rob Cookson. And DK is still hanging around for now.
We had his older brother, Wade Brookbank, on the
We
IceHogs.
did.
He didn't ever play for the Blackhawks. Remember that weird half season where we had Paille?
Oh, yeah.
And then he finally got signed to an NHL team. Or like,
Yeah.
he scored an overtime winner against us in the series with Boston in 2013.
I had totally forgotten about that.
I was there for that. I didn't meet him, but
What
That was a
season was that?
14, 15,
14?
I think. Maybe 15, 16.
I think it was 15-16 because it was once I had come back. 15-16 I started going to IceHogs games, but then it was the next year that I became a season ticket holder.
Gotcha.
So I think it was 15-16 when we also had Drew McIntyre in net,
Not the wrestler, but the goaltender.
who stood awkwardly still just all the time. Not while he was making saves, but like during anthems and stoppages in play, he would just stand awkwardly still. We called him the tree because he didn't move. It's weird.
JF Berube.
Oh, Berube. Ooh, is he with Columbus now, or did he go somewhere else?
Was. That's where we sent him.
Yeah.
And then we traded. Is that when we traded Saad there or when we traded Panarin there?
Who knows?
All I know is it involved Saad again.
And then we got Anisimov.
How,
we got
how soon
Marco
until we
Dano.
trade for Saad again? Next year?
We have a new GM now.
Yeah, that's right. He still brought. Didn't he trade for somebody else though? This year?
Who, Kyle?
Yeah, didn't he?
Bring somebody back?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't know.
What moves did they even make this year?
Don't remember. Seth Jones, but that was still Stan.
That was Stan. He sent Adam Gaudette off to Ottawa. He sent Malcolm Subban to Buffalo. Obviously Brandon Hagel and Fleury at the deadline.
Hey, he might go to the second round.
Shut up. I don't want to hear about it.
Not
Fleury's
only-
not going to the second round.
That's sad.
Oh, you know who also might go to the second round? Carpenter with the Calgary Flames.
And so will Milan Lucic.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I don't want the Flames to win. So I've been rooting for Dallas. They also have a Jay Robertson,
They do.
Jason Robertson,
They can just sub you in.
who almost had a hat trick when I saw him play
Really?
against the Blackhawks. He had an empty net opportunity, and then one of our defensemen just stopped him. I'm like, no, just let him score, please.
Nope.
It's like, if we're going to lose, at least give me this. And then they didn't, and so I was mega disappointed.
Oh, Anton Forsberg, who's now apparently a good goaltender for the Ottawa Senators, was also a nice hog. Not a very good one.
No.
And he was a bad Blackhawk.
Terrible Blackhawk.
Then he goalied the Leafs
Is that the
early
same
this
year that
season.
like Jeff Glass went up there and like we had every goalie ever because Crawford got
was
hurt
injured.
and then
Cameron Kenneth Ward.
everyone else got hurt and who else?
Good old Cameron Kenneth. Gosh, who else?
I always go back to the 2013 season of like who from there was on the team. Talked about Ben Smith.
There's always Henry Jokiharju.
I saw him get drafted live, and Patrick Kane almost fucking up his name. Henry Jokiharju.
That's also a trade that I'll never forgive. Joker for fucking Alex Nylander. Really? Really? I also think he would have...
Didn't we trade him this year? Nylander?
Yeah, for Sam Lafferty. Who was good for the Hawks. So that trade in a vacuum is fine.
Is he playing in the World Juniors right now? Or not the World Juniors, but the
Worlds.
The Worlds?
Yeah. Him and the Joneses.
Yeah. Seth Jones is... yeah, I guess.
Seth is a captain for Team USA. And he scored a power play goal today.
Which he didn't do at all with us.
None of the defensemen did. I still can't get over that. The Blackhawks went an entire 82-game season and did not get one goal from their defensemen on the power play. What?
It's funny. And we had, like, at least Seth Jones play, because he was their...
Gustafson?
He was a Ice Hog.
He was, and he had a horrible turnover one time in front of Matt Carruth that I will never forgive him for.
Matt Carruth. I remember the school day game where Michael Layton had given up 4 goals in the first period, and then like, okay, Lates, you're taken out, and Matt Carruth went in, and then refs were looking at the score sheet like, he's not dressed on the sheet, and so he had to go to the locker room, and he threw his stick up and almost hit fans, and then Layton had to finish the game.
He had some pretty epic temper tantrums, Mr. Matt Carruth.
He wasn't good.
He wasn't.
I remember when they had Tolvanen. He wasn't good, at least that year. I was still in high school back then.
Yeah, that was before my days.
Tolvanen or Toivonen?
Toivonen.
Yeah.
Tolvanen is a Nashville Predator now.
You're a Nashville Predator now.
Oh, hell no, I'm not.
You got swept.
You know who is, though? Tanner Jeannot. And he also got swept. But he had, like... I don't think he ended up with the most goals. Or maybe he did for a rookie this season. But he was near the top.
The Wolves have some former Ice Hogs on their roster. Former NHL rejects.
Right now?
Yeah.
Do they have Broadhurst?
I don't think they have Broadhurst anymore. I have to look this up now because I remember hearing names. I'm like, oh, there's an NHL reject. Oh, there's another NHL reject.
They have former Ice Hogs?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. If it's the same last name, I'm pretty sure it is. Chicago Wolves 22 roster.
How is this not coming to my brain now?
Let's find out. They have Panic. He was a nice guy. He was a
Richard
Blackhawk,
Panik.
They also have Josh Levo, who was in the
Former
NHL for a
Leaf.
while. Actually, did he? Did Panic? Panic might have played for the Ice Hogs.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But yeah, a couple of NHL rejects, as they always do.
Panik got loaned to them from the
Islanders. What a name. How many goalies are they supposed to have on their team? Jesus Christ.
I know they have like 20 million, but most of them aren't eligible.
Probably down to the ECHL team if they have one.
Or up with the forever injured Carolina Hurricanes goaltending with Freddie Anderson. And
Punk Rock and Hockey is now following me.
Oh, Tyler.
With my great takes from last night of, hey guy, stop yelling at us from behind while you're up 6-0.
But now the Ice Hogs have some good players that could also become some good Blackhawks down the road.
Yeah, Reichel is going to be real good, I think.
People were so quick to be like, he didn't score any points with the Blackhawks this year. Well, he did end up getting that one assist, but like, guys.
Hey, Crawford didn't even go up until he was like 27 or something.
Right.
So, goalies typically mature
like 26,
later.
25, 26.
He was already halfway through his career. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. But
and I think that's why people didn't give him much credit, because he spent so much time in the minors. But like, everybody develops differently.
Ben Bishop, again, he was good for 2 years when he was finally up.
And not injured.
But he was down for a long time too. I think he was 30 until he finally made his NHL starting debut.
Everybody loved the Hamburglar. Like,
yeah.
But no, the guy who actually wins 2 Stanley Cups. Oh god, he spent too many years in the AHL. Bleh, he must suck.
I hate it. Mm-hmm. I remember watching Ben Bishop play for the Peoria Rivermen because he was a Blues prospect, actually.
Yeah, he was. Wasn't he drafted by the Blues?
I think so. And his ass was taller than the net was. This dude was big, man.
He is big.
All he had to do was stand there and we couldn't score on him. I don't know how he was so bad after... He got hurt and then he just was never good again.
It's just the injuries. I mean, then he went to Ottawa. And then
They paid him though.
from there went to Tampa.
Wasn't Holtby in Ottawa too? Or where'd he
Holtby?
go?
No.
Where'd he go after the Capitals dumped him? Then he sucked.
Vancouver.
That's what it was. And then he's like
And
in
then
the
Dallas.
AHL team now. He's
Huh.
also in the. Is he in the Texas Stars? Or he's actually stayed up with Dallas.
Because there were injuries and such, along with Ben Bishop, who was with the Stars and his injuries. And then Anton Hudobin, after taking them to a cup final, just shit the bed. And then he sucked.
And now Texas Stars have a goalie named Matt Murray, who's not the same Matt Murray
Yeah.
as the Penguins again.
And he played 6 games for them in the regular season. So I don't
And
know
won-
where the fuck
and
he
won
come
them
from.
all.
Yeah. And then he was really good in the playoffs, too.
But he lost. He didn't get a single win. I will say the one Wolves guy, the IceHogs still have more playoff wins than you right now. So
Alex Lyon? Or the Wolves fan?
Just the Wolves fan.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So we have 2 wins to your 1.
1.
Granted, we have 1 loss to your
Scored more
no losses.
goals in one game than they scored all series. But they really need to pick the offense up. I don't know where it went to die after the regular season ended.
Yeah. There were a lot of good, like, should have been goals
For the
last
Hogs?
night, for the Hogs last night. It should not have been as big of a blowout as it was. Like, there was so many opportunities. It was just the penalties. I like how we've come full circle to talk about the game again.
I know.
'Cause that's what we started.
That's typically how this goes.
But
that-
there was a couple in front of us that, like, how did that not go in? It was an empty net. Just like that Hagel
That was
chance last
blocked.
night.
Brody blocked it.
Yeah, but still it was
Yeah.
wide open.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, that sucks. And then they just kept playing. I was like, wait, what? And then they said it was Hagel. I was like, he still loves me. He didn't score. But then he got the assist on the game winner.
Yeah, well, good for him.
He's played really well in the series.
Yeah, he played really well for the Blackhawks.
Imagine that.
Granted, still, I mean, you got a first-round pick for him for
2 first round.
2 first-round
I don't
picks, so-
care. I don't care what we got. I'm still mad about the trade. But the IceHogs. I don't want to talk about the fucking Leafs.
We have to. They're still playing.
I know, but so are the IceHogs.
Yeah.
Was Lyon making good saves, or were they just missing?
It was just, he would make a save and then the defense would just clear it, which is something that our defensemen did not do last night.
Oh, good. It's like they did.
Granted, they just took like 7 penalties last night. And
It's like they did the opposite of everything I said they needed to do, because I pointed that out in the preview video. Like, they can't take all these penalties, because once they do, they get these games where they just have trains to the penalty box.
Yeah, not to mention the shots were just crazily in the favor of the Wolves. Yeah, like they control the offensive zone. We couldn't clear it out.
Yep.
We would come in, get a good chance, and then it'd be back in our zone for another 2 minutes.
Yep.
Granted, half of that is penalties.
Yeah.
And then the Wolves fans wanted more penalties. Like, oh, you missed a clear penalty. It's like, he hit him. It's hockey. Shut up.
Of course they did.
And then
They're confused.
they don't know what they're talking about.
Let them do their thing. They're confused. But I was watching both of the games. I was mostly watching the IceHogs. And then after the second period, or like near the end of it, then the Leafs game started getting really tense, and it was in the third period there. So then the IceHogs were losing by a bunch, and I just shut that off and watched the Leafs game. So I was like, they're not coming back from this. And if they do come back from this, it's going to be a miracle. So
I essentially shut it off too, even though it was there. That's why they were like, this dude's not even watching the games, watching the Lightning games. Like, it's the Leafs game.
yeah, get it right. First of all.
Nice.
Yes. Lucas Reichel did get a goal, though. Breakaway goal.
Yeah, that was the best part of the night.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people in our section were actually IceHogs fans. That the original section, I still might have the tickets on me, actually. And it was like, yeah, way to go, Leaky. And then he didn't give up another goal until like garbage time.
Until Evan Barrett. Was it a good goal, or was it just like a...
It was a Wolves didn't care anymore goal. So it was garbage time.
I should probably watch the third period before
Nah, you
I
don't
make
have to. You don't have to.
make a video about it.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Nah.
But Lucas Reichel also scored the first goal of the first round. And then he scored the first goal of the second round.
That breakaway was nice too.
It was.
I saw other people cheering. I was like, "Oh, it did go in! Hooray!" Because where
I
I
didn't
was,
know if it did at first either, watching it on TV.
Yeah, well, they were late with the goal light, and Allstate has a thing where like the one side of the ice has like where the players come in, so there's a big hole there, and then the other side doesn't, but it's not big enough to hold hockey. So like the stands are here and the goal's like down here. So you don't, unless you're like right there, you don't see the goal. So he shot it, and I was like, they're cheering, they're IceHogs, yay, we scored.
Yeah, I think the first time I went to Allstate, I was sitting behind that net. 'Cause I was like, you can't fucking see anything. What is this shit?
Allstate just sucks in general.
It looks like a high school.
I go there for wrestling events, and I'm like, why would WWE come here? Like, it's not a good arena.
It has hallways. Why are there hallways?
Go to Sears or the Now Arena. Excuse me.
The Now Arena.
The pill bottle arena.
Yeah, they have.
The vitamin. It's a vitamin bottle.
They have a big vitamin bottle outside.
Yeah,
now.
it's like leaning up against the sign.
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't have a lot of like. Doesn't look like it.
No.
Good luck editing this.
It should be fine. They're made for this.
But yeah, the Now Arena is very nice.
Really?
It is a horseshoe arena, so like the entire half of the entire end zone is just there's nothing there. That was for a hockey game, but
I've never been there.
it's nice. I went there for Chicago Hounds games back in the UHL days.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I've been there for an AEW event once.
Is that where the Windy City Bulls play? Okay.
It used to be called the Sears Center. It's at Hoffman
Yeah.
Estates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than the Allstate. And I think it might be better than the BMO.
Okay.
So
The BMO is better than the Allstate. I know that.
it is. It definitely is. And we have better fans than people that are at the
They
Allstate.
actually show up.
Yeah. I'm actually flabbergasted how many people showed up to those two playoff
Me
games.
too.
Because when I was still there weren't that many people.
I was more surprised about the Wednesday game. I figured weekend playoffs, it'll be pretty busy, but that Wednesday game was packed. There usually aren't people in 203, and there were people in 203. It's like, what is going on? There's people around me. I don't know if I like this.
I don't like this at all.
It's good for the team, but I don't know if I like this. Yeah.
Screw the Allstate. It sucks.
And they
Bottom line.
have a wooden ceiling and shoot off fireworks, so they just constantly try to burn down their own building.
Yeah. I brought my buddy Jordan there, and he was like, this is too much. Why are there pyro? Why is, like, it's a minor league hockey team. It's too much. And then I got into like, they don't care about their NHL squads, even though that's literally their sole purpose is to,
Right, you're a development league, but
they don't like to talk about, like, they have these banners in their hallways of like former Wolves. I'm like, I never heard of that guy. Never heard of that guy. That guy never played in the NHL. Who are these people? Where are your Lettys? Nick Letty played for the IceHogs.
yeah, I think I said that.
I don't think we did.
No?
No.
Maybe I was just shunning him because he's a blue now, but I did say sod.
I thought we were shutting him because he's a blue now.
I
I'm
know.
shutting him because he's a blue now. Even though the Blackhawks kind of screwed him over like 3 times, but it's fine.
Well, his trade screwed the Blackhawks over, so
Well,
meh.
it's not his fault.
It's not. It's Stan Bowman's fault, like
What?
many things are.
Just Panarin. We wouldn't still have him right now anyway, but
Yeah.
still.
That's why that trade never really made me that mad. Like, if you just look at the trade, it's dumb. But it's like, we wouldn't have been able to afford him anyway, so he would have left, but...
But then we traded Saad before his contract was up anyway, so it's like we could have just gotten 2 more years out of Panarin,
Right.
and been fine.
Yep. And not have had
Made the
that
playoffs
dumb
again.
trade.
Anyway,
Let Kane have some more fun. But no, he's not allowed. Although now he has Cat, but we'll see. We'll see what the team looks like.
He never played for the IceHogs, did he? He went
Nope.
straight to the NHL.
He went straight to the NHL and never left.
Kirby Doc never went to the AHL.
Yeah, he
either.
did.
He did?
Yep. Well,
sent
it
him
was
down.
a conditioning stint because he had the concussions. He wouldn't have technically been eligible for the AHL. He would have had to go back to
Yeah.
junior. So because he came back from the concussion, they sent him down for conditioning. But man, they did him so wrong. They rushed him so bad. And people have already given up on Curbs. Like, he's 21.
Yeah.
He's 21, and he got better this year. He's not going to put up all the points you want him to, but if you look at just his defensive side of the game, he's a lot
I
better.
think he's going to take over that best stick handler from Kane
Really?
at some point. Because when he was in the bubble, he looked fantastic. Like, he didn't score any goals, I don't think, but every time he had the puck, I'm like, this dude's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's just the eye test.
Yeah.
I think he will be good. I think when Kane's. Are we gonna keep on to Kane?
I think so.
I think they'll trade Taves.
I think Taves will be gone before Kane leaves because
I think Kane might actually retire at Blackhawks.
I could see it.
Unless he wants to finish his career in Buffalo. But why would he when all they do is boo him all the time?
Yeah. Where were we before that? How did we get to Kane and Buffalo? Oh, talking about the Blackhawks roster and him leaving.
Him leaving because we were talking about Doc. And,
yeah. I think Taves would leave before Kane.
Yeah.
Because he definitely didn't sound very committed to the Blackhawks.
No. He hasn't sounded like that since Dan Bowman left. So
yeah. In which Kane was like, yeah, I'll be around for the rebuild. And all
I love Chicago. I love it here. And Dave's like, man, I don't have that many years left. I don't want to rebuild. It's like
you start to think about what it would be like wearing another jersey.
It's like, wow, that's our captain, huh?
Yeah. And like, I don't hate the honesty. I appreciate the honesty from him, but I don't want that kind of mindset around our young players and prospects, you know? Especially from the captain. Like, that mindset will leak out and go through the locker room.
But that's why the captain's got to just stay mum on the topic. Can't.
Right.
Anyone else, you can appreciate the honesty, but the captain's kind of got to be like.
That's why I don't think he should be the captain.
Well, among other reasons. No.
Yeah. I just like how I set Twitter on fire with a shit post asking if Patrick Kane should be the captain of the Blackhawks.
That immature piece of crap. He's been more mature the last few years than Taves has.
Yeah.
Kane's clearly like. Does Taves have a wife and
he has a girlfriend. If they're still together, no.
Kane has a wife and child before Taves. It's like, somebody grew up.
He really did. Once he had his kid, he was like,
I'm done being a little kid. I'm gonna be an adult.
Big mature Patrick Kane now. I would not have guessed this character arc from those two. From their younger days.
Like, Taves is still the same guy from 2010. Kane is definitely not.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
It really is.
Maybe Kane should be the captain.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
I mean, he's the oldest guy in the team now.
We just
contract-wise, I don't mean like oldest as in, like, literally by age. I just mean by the team.
I think that would be Taves.
Well...
But assuming he's
gone is what I'm saying. Is like, maybe he should be the captain. Maybe he legitimately should be the captain. And then who do you make the alternates? Cat's already got an A.
And...
Curb?
Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe that's too young?
Depends on who's a real leader, you know?
Can't make a goalie a captain anymore, which is dumb.
Right. I mean, Murphy would probably keep one since we have him for another 4 fucking years because they extended him before the season fucking started for whatever fucking reason.
Oh, they'd probably make Jones a captain too.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
He's the only one still playing right now.
Well, so is his brother. Make Caleb the alternate.
Just pissed Seth off. If we would have signed him like 3-4 years ago, I'd have been all for it. Seth, because he looked fantastic with Nashville. He looked even better when they swept the Lightning. Mm-hmm. He was one of the main reasons why. And then the year after, he just was terrible. I was like, well.
And then he got COVID twice.
And then he hasn't really recovered. And it's like, why would you sign him that much?
Right. It's not even the trade that I'm mad about anymore because, like, it happened and we just have to get over it. It's the fucking contract, which is starting this coming season.
Yeah, it was an extension, wasn't it? We didn't trade for him. Did we trade for him?
We traded for him.
That's right.
But he had the 1 year left, which was this past year. And so the 8 years starts in 22-23 at 9.5.
We finally get rid of the Duncan Keith ridiculous contract just to sign the same thing.
We finally get out of cap hell. We get rid of Dunks. We get rid of Siebes. Somebody else is coming off the books.
Hossa?
No, because he was with Arizona.
Right.
I think Oli Mata's retained salary is finally over.
He's with the Kings right now.
Yeah, he's still playing.
He could go into the second round. Can we talk about finish your thought, and then we'll move on.
Shaw's contract is up after this season, so that comes off the LTIR retirement.
Yay.
So, but now we're just right back in cap hell because Stan Bowman decided he wanted fucking Seth Jones to distract everybody from what was going on.
Can we restructure contracts?
Nope.
In the NFL, you can.
Nope. We need compliance buyouts back for 1 year.
Can we?
Just one.
Can we just be like, can we cut him just to re-sign him to something different, please, and not have it affect?
Right. Yeah, that's very much
Like,
not allowed in the NHL.
If we can just keep his 8 years, fine. Like, I understand, but can we just
So
convert shit to salary
long.
bonus?
So long.
So that when when he's a hindrance in 5 years, we can trade him? Because somebody will be like, we'll take a flyer on him. Because he won't cost $1 bajillion.
I know. That contract is just really bad. It's a bad contract. If it was shorter, maybe. But 8 years? Like we saw what happened with the Seabrook contract. And it was a lot when he signed it, but it was just like, you've done all of this for us, here's your payday. Mm-hmm. But then it came back around to screw us.
Every contract did.
True. And it's not like the Hawks are going to be good for a few years, but I would hope within 8 years they will maybe be somewhat decent. And we'll need cap space.
Not with that contract.
Well, Taves and Kane come off the books after next season.
Yeah, you got to think they're going to at least resign one of them.
Probably not for 10.5.
No, it would be hopefully substantially less as long as Kane's like, I get it.
And I'm pretty sure it would only be him.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think he wants to come back now.
It sure doesn't seem that way.
After his Bowman comments of like, I don't know how you could just get rid of somebody who's done so much for us. Like, because he let somebody get...
Right? All of those people lost their jobs, as they should have.
Yeah, like, yes, he did good for you, but...
Congratulations.
Hitler did good things for some people.
Right? Like, just because he treated you well.
I'm not calling Hitler, and I'm not 100% comparing them to.
Bad people can do good things for some people.
Look at Putin. I'm sure some people are loving him right now.
Probably.
In Russia.
Keep comparing Stan Bowman to world leaders who do horrible things in Star Wars. But yeah,
Emperor Palpatine did good for...
He hasn't sounded any sort of interested in the Blackhawks since he came back from his year off.
No. When he first came back, he was like, I'm very happy I can be back with my teammates and blah, blah, blah. And now he's like, thinking about a different jersey, and I kind of want to go home to Winnipeg because that'd be fun. Probably. That's probably where he's going.
Do it. They didn't make the playoffs this year. I'm sure they'd love to have you. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that would fit cap-wise, but...
If we do re-sign Kane, I'd only want like a 3-year contract. Anything above that...
It would be too much.
Yeah.
Because then you're really messing with like his health and whatnot. And I don't think he'll really fall off as he ages. He'll probably retire still good, but not like Patrick Kane good.
This is getting to the point of like, man, we're getting old.
I know.
Because I was in high school, and I just started high school, and they drafted both of them.
Yep.
And now they're talking about like, well, retirement's probably close.
Yep.
Like,
that's the weird thing about talking about like the golden years ending.
You don't even know you're in the golden years until you're
not.
It. Like,
until you are very much not.
And one of those golden years was a very negative opposite of that.
Yeah. Yep. In hindsight. For us. That's rough.
It's like all your heroes are retiring and getting old and makes you feel old. And I'm only 28. Like, I'd still be... If I had any athletic ability...
You could still be playing in the NHL.
I'd be a veteran by this point, but...
Yeah.
Now you're like, Taves is getting old, and he's only like 30-something.
I know.
Kane's getting old, he's only like 30-something.
I know, talking about age in sports is so weird. Like, oh, these guys are so old and like in their 30s.
And you got, what's his face? Jaromir Jagr still playing, and he's 50.
Yeah.
but all these other guys are old and they're barely 30. It's
God.
like, what is happening?
I wish Yager would come back to the NHL and just dominate. That
He
would
wanted
be
to retire.
hilarious.
He wanted to do what Datsuk did, right? And just retire close to home at this point.
I think so.
I think he started because he
joked
wanted to come
about
back.
it coming back.
He's done after this year, right? Didn't he say that? Isn't he like the
Yager?
biggest? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Isn't he the biggest point getter in whatever league he's in right now?
I think so, but I don't
He's
think
like-
he's done.
I thought he said he was gonna be done after this year. Probably not. He's gonna die playing hockey.
He's gonna Gordie Howe this
age
shit.
8. Age 80. I almost said age 8. That's
Age
not
8.
true. I will look it up because I thought I heard
He's gonna
that
retire
somewhere.
at age 8. Now Yager's gonna play forever, and
like Tom
apparently
Brady.
he still can play forever because he's still killing it over there. How old is he?
He's 50.
Is he really?
He's 50.
Oh my god!
Turned 50 on February 15th.
I didn't realize he was actually 50. Huh.
33 professional years playing sports.
Whew. That's a lot of wear and tear on the body.
He's regarded as one of the greatest players of all time.
You don't say.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
You don't say. I don't think you play for 33 years professionally and you're not one of the best players to ever play. Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. He said Yager has decided he will continue to play for Kladno
Sure. The KHL.
in the Czech X.
Oh, Czech League.
Yeah, the CE, whatever.
Yeah.
Even as he nears his 50th birthday.
Well, there you go.
Not planning to retire.
I knew he wasn't done. I feel
So
like that would be
there
bigger news.
You go.
That would be like everywhere. But we should probably work toward wrapping this up at some point.
Okay, in like 3 hours when we wrap.
Yeah, right?
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Your first ever 3-part episode.
All right. Maple Leafs.
I was going to just
Oh,
go
go for
through
it.
the playoffs. Who do you think is the biggest? They talked about this on the Bar Down podcast. I don't know if you watched that. You should.
I do not.
Of who is the biggest pretender
The biggest
in
pretender.
the playoffs right now of the teams. I'll say of the teams that are still alive with Game 7s tomorrow.
Biggest pretender. Oh,
I'll say one that might be controversial.
go for it.
The Oilers.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like they're going to lose tomorrow.
Oh, I hope they do.
And they'll be the new Leafs, even though the Leafs are still the
Please
Leafs.
take over that role. Just take it over.
Remember when they were in the bubble as the number 4 seed?
And the
Number 5 seed?
beat
And the Blackhawks beat them in 4 games?
It was beautiful. Yes, I recall. Oh, biggest pretenders.
Is it them? Is it LA?
The Carolina Hurricanes.
Really? And you just don't like them, though, because they have Tony DeAngelo.
Why did they have to do that? I was all aboard the Canes wagon, and then
They
they were
have
like,
Ethan Bear and Tony DeAngelo. It's
and
like,
they did that on the same day.
it's like, you guys are weird. It's like they only did the Bear thing just so they can get DeAngelo and not have as
Right.
much hatred.
But Boston's been chanting racist at them, and Marchand called TDA a racist on the ice. I'm like, Boston, don't make me like you. This is
Especially not you, Marchand. I hate you.
I know,
I hate him the most.
right? Like, don't make
I
me.
used to
like
hate
you.
Lucic, and then he left, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Marchand's just as bigger.
Stupid rat face.
He's a rat face. Lucic is a hunchback.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
They both just like personify the Boston Bruins.
I hate him.
Yeah, I don't know. The Carolina Hurricanes. I don't think that they'll do it.
Yeah.
Like, they might win tomorrow. I'm not saying they're going to lose Game 7, but I don't think.
They'll be at home, right, for that?
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I don't think they'll take it all.
I think it's Edmonton because like everyone's like this should be the year
Are
because they
they
got
really a
McDavid and they got
contender?
Draisaitl.
Dressel. Leon Dressel.
It's like when you have Mike Smith, you're never gonna make it to the finals.
I just love seeing him lose. It's so good. I was really hoping LA would beat them yesterday and I wouldn't have to deal with the games.
I can't root for LA. I'm
I
sorry,
can't
Thompson.
root for
I can't root for
Mike
LA.
Smith.
That's fair, but I can't root for Jonathan Quick.
See, I don't think if LA gets to the second round, I could see them more easily losing, but I could see like McDavid and Draisaitl just going on absolute god mode journeys and like get them past the second round and maybe the third round. I think it would be easier for LA to lose.
Who would they play in the second round? Who won the West?
I think
Edmonton?
they would. No,
Edmonton?
Colorado won the West.
Or I meant the Pacific.
Oh, Calgary.
Right.
They play whoever comes out of Calgary and Dallas.
See, Calgary and Dallas both seem like pretenders too. Like the entire West.
They really do.
The entire West, other than Colorado, just seem like, what are they doing there?
I mean, both first games being shutouts for either team. And I don't know. It's been a weird series. I haven't watched much of it because it was on at the same time as Colorado and Nashville.
That was almost a series, the only games I could watch because it was the only game. Yeah, I'd get home from
late,
work and they're still on. I'm like, that and the Edmonton LA series.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Carolina as being my biggest pretender because I think they have more people think they are an actual contender.
Yeah.
So I think they're pretender. I don't know. Colorado still has to get out of the second round.
Yeah, and they'll be playing St. Louis. St. Louis is still in the thing.
Yeah, that's like the first round for the Leafs. Colorado can't get out of the second round.
Yeah.
But at least they can win a fucking playoff round.
Yeah, Leafs. Please win tomorrow.
I can't even call them a pretender because they have to get out of the first round to be a contender.
Mm-hmm. I had Florida, and Florida's still in it. They had a game 7, don't they? Oh my God, I hate it. That'll be in Florida, thankfully.
Washington pushing them to 7.
I just don't understand how LA is even in Game 7. Like the fact that they had a lead going into last night.
Yeah.
Because I still feel like they're a rebuilding team. Like Quick was terrible the last 2 years, and all of a sudden he's standing on his head again this year. He found the fountain of youth.
He really did.
Oh, postseason.
Yeah. I don't know. They got Philly to know, and here they go. Back to the final like he took Montreal.
Talking about former IceHogs.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Phil
a great
Deneau.
white. There's my quintessential great white buffalo.
The one who got away.
Mm-hmm. We traded him to Montreal for
Dale Weiss.
He was in the Weiss trade.
Yep.
It's like, why? You have somebody better than him.
That was
He's
a good
one
old...
of the best face-off men in the league right now.
Yep. That was a good old Joel Quenneville trade right there.
Yeah.
Dale
I wish.
And then he didn't even play in the playoffs. He played like one game, then he got
scored a
scratched.
goal. He scored a goal in the must-have Game 6 win to send it back to St. Louis.
But he barely played.
Still. Without him scoring, we would have lost in 6. So, but still, I wish we still
Instead
had
of
to know.
7?
Yeah. Fucking Troy Brouwer.
Eric Gustafson, man. That was his puck.
I know.
Fucking Gus. He won't go away. He's like a disease that won't go away.
Troy Brouwer just likes to beat us in high-profile games. Game 7 against the Blues. The Winter Classic in 2015.
Against the Caps.
He's a former Ice Hog.
He is.
He was talking about, I think he was on the Capitals and was talking about his dog in like one of their YouTube videos. He's like, I got this man in Rockford. And I'm like, yay! He has part of us. He still loves us.
Can we please not bring Eric Gustafson back after this year, though?
Versteeg's former Ice Hog.
Yeah?
I'm trying to remember them all. I'm sorry.
They just keep coming back. Who do you think?
Bickle.
Oh, Bix, yeah.
Bickle was a former Hog and then came back and he was very nice. And then that was before he found out he had MS. And then they traded him. He was like, oh shit, I have multiple sclerosis. That's not good. And then he scored a shootout goal in his last ever game and it was so heartwarming.
That was great. That was the Tavo trade. Get rid of Bix. Who do you think has the biggest chance to win the Stanley Cup this year?
It's hard not to say Colorado after they just destroyed Nashville. Like they only had one close game and it was that overtime game.
Yeah, but they didn't have UC Saros.
That's true too. That's why I'm also like leaning on them, but I don't see anybody else from the West getting there.
They also swept St. Louis in the first round last year.
I can't see Calgary beating them. I can't see Dallas beating them. I mean, they lost to Vegas last year, which was the only other team I could see getting there. I don't see anybody else from the West getting to the Stanley Cup. It's hard from the AFC. Football on the brain. When I'm not in podcast mode, I'm in football mode. when I see, like, look at the East, like, Tampa could make it. I think Toronto, if they get past this round, I think Toronto can make it. Because they'll have, their demons will be exercised. They'll just like Vancouver, they finally got past the Blackhawks and made it to Game 7 in the finals and then got destroyed.
Washington, they finally beat Pittsburgh and then they won the cup.
Mm-hmm. Washington's, I don't think Carolina can make it. I don't think Washington can make it. I don't think Boston can make it. I think Florida might be able to make it.
If they can win
tomorrow.
They've been a strange story in the playoffs.
They've been a strange story all year. They're the President's Trophy winners, but if you would have told me that through the season, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Florida?
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate Florida. Like, I'd root for them over Colorado or Tampa Bay for sure. What's in the East right now? Nobody's eliminated out of the East yet, are they? There's only 2 teams eliminated. It's the Wild and the Predators.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Tampa's in the East still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can see whoever wins Toronto and Tampa, I can see them in the conference finals.
Please, no, if it goes the wrong way. I can't do this again.
Who else is in the East? I can't even think of who else.
I think that's all of them.
I'm just trying to think of
Carolina, Boston.
Yeah, I can't see either of them in
Florida,
the finals.
Washington. Leafs.
I can see Florida in the finals.
Tampa.
Rangers, Penguins.
Oh, right. That's a thing.
I don't see either of them being in there either, though.
Totally forgot about that one. I'll be watching that game tonight.
Yeah, the fact that the Rangers went down. I don't want to talk about it. Crosby's out, so I could kind of see Penguins in the conference finals, but I can't see them getting to the Stanley Cup because they'd have to play. I think they would either have to play Florida in the championship or the Leafs or Tampa, because I think they'd be playing.
Whoever's
if they
in the
move
other
on,
division.
they play the Rangers or the Capitals or the Panthers, right?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the actual bracket.
I haven't either. I can't see Carolina. I can kind of see Boston being in the
just to be obnoxious.
Finals.
Yeah, what if it's a repeat of Boston and St. Louis?
I don't see St. Louis getting past Colorado though. I really don't.
I hope not.
I think the only reason they beat Minnesota is because they just have a bugaboo on Minnesota. Like, they just seem to have their number.
I didn't watch any of that series.
No, I didn't either. I wanted to because I kind of like Minnesota. I know you don't like them. But they had Fleury, so I was rooting for him then. They have Fiala, who, even though he was a Predator, I liked Fiala.
He's a good player.
Yeah. They have Kaprizov, who's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. I don't hate anybody on Minnesota. So I was rooting for, and I just hate St. Louis.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't find myself watching. I just cared more about the Leafs, and it's really
Is that who they played? Was that the 2 games that were on at the same time? Was it Minnesota, St. Louis, and the Leafs in Tampa?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Today or last night.
Yeah. So it would have been the same throughout.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't watch any of it, because I was watching the Leafs. That makes sense.
Yep. But yeah, what do the Leafs do tomorrow? They win, they choke.
It's hard to predict them winning. When I know they very well could. They could do it. They've looked like a team that could win a game, and that's all they have to do is win a game. But it's a Game 7 in the first round.
Against the defending Stanley Cup champions, back to back.
But they've traded games this whole series. Leafs won, Tampa won, Leafs won, Tampa won, Leafs won, Tampa won. Leafs.
The Tampa has not lost 2 straight games since 2019.
That's disgusting.
Vasilevsky has never lost 2 straight playoff games.
He needs to be knocked down a peg.
He's very good, but he has not looked like himself. When that game-tying goal went in, where it just kind of like fluttered off his glove, it's like, that's not the same Vasilevsky. That's when I thought the Leafs are going to win this game, because Vasilevsky does not look like himself. And then after the next goal, he shut the door and was the main reason.
I thought after the Hagel missed goal, like, that was the bounce. The Leafs are going to win this. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, but this is the Leafs at the same time. So I was like, they're probably not.
And then once the 5-on-3 was a thing, I was like, oh, well, there it is.
There were such bogus calls. You need to go back and watch the highlights.
I watched the highlights, and they didn't have those in there. So I'll need to watch.
Shocking.
I'll have to watch the Steve Dangle one, because they have the whole game on there,
yeah.
which is a very good plus of having Steve Dangle do those is that they show the
yeah.
whole broadcast. You can go back and rewatch the whole game.
That's true.
So
Yeah, I don't know. But when it comes to the IceHogs and the Wolves, what do you think happens?
I think the IceHogs take the next game. I think the Wolves take the next 2.
No, that means they would win at the BMO.
I know.
Don't do that to me. I can't. No. The IceHogs have to win at least. Well, I guess it depends on what happens tomorrow. They cannot lose the series at home.
So it has to go 5.
Or they win. Yeah. Those are the options.
Going into the series, I was like, yeah, I think it's gonna be Hogs in 4. And then I saw the game last night, and there I'm like, this doesn't look like the team that they beat 8 times. This looks like the team that is the best team in the league.
Yeah, but the Hogs also looked like trash. They looked really bad. They looked like corpses.
I will
on
say
skates.
Soderblom did not look like himself last
But
night.
every time he has a game like that, he bounces back.
Well, I said they'd win the next game. I hope the Hogs win.
They have to win the next 3.
I hope that happens, but I don't see it happening.
Or they have to win tomorrow, and then they can lose 1 at home.
And then win the 2 after that.
Yeah, depends on what happens tomorrow. But they cannot lose the series at home.
You didn't tell me if you think the Leafs are winning tomorrow or not.
I said it's hard to predict them winning.
So you're picking the Lightning to win tomorrow.
I did not say that. I don't make predictions.
You should make predictions.
I don't make predictions. Every time, I have not made a prediction since 2014 when I said I want the Kings in the 3rd round because they'll be tired because they've gone to Game 7 every fucking series.
And then they did, and they went to Game 7 and they won.
Yes. I have not made a prediction since then because it bit me in the ass. But it is hard to predict the Leafs to win tomorrow because of everything that has haunted them. And they are cursed.
Steve Dangle said he saw it in a vision that they're going to the Stanley Cup Finals.
This is Steve Dangle we're talking
But
about.
last year he said the same thing.
Steve is crazy.
Yeah. He's been weirdly calm this series, though, for the most part. Even in the LFRs, he's like...
I mean, we saw how apathetic he was after last year. Like, he was upset once they lost it, but he was
And he was like, I don't even know if I can do these videos anymore.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if they lose this one? If they win tomorrow, I think they could go to the final.
I think they could, too.
Because they just beat probably the best team.
Yeah.
Definitely the best team in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And they haven't looked like themselves either, but this team's looked the best they've looked since Austin Matthews got there because they're finally, everyone's contributing.
And people keep blaming Dubas after losses. I'm like, this team is good. He did his job.
Yeah.
This is a good team. They're cursed. They're cursed.
It's more on the coach than the GM. I think they win tomorrow. I'll say it. That's why the heartbreak's going to happen tomorrow. You're looking at me like, why did you say that?
I'm scared
because when they played Washington, I knew they were going to lose because it's Washington. It's their first real, actual, believable playoff run since the last won a series, 2013. Put that away. They got there because of the shortened season, and then they, blew it. 2016 or it was 20. Was that 2017? It was 2018. Because the Capitals went on to win the Stanley Cup that year, didn't they? Or was that the year before they won?
I don't remember.
I think it was 2017. They lost to the Capitals.
I think it was 17.
Yeah. 2018, they lost to Boston in 7. 2019, they lost to Boston in 7. 2020, there was the bubble, and they lost to Columbus in 5. And then 2021, last year, they lost to Montreal in 7. Last year looked like the worst of them because Montreal should not have even gotten past the first round, and they wound up going to the final.
Won a game. But they were missing John Tavares.
Mm-hmm.
Who was completely MIA for the first half of this series, by the way. Scored 2 huge goals yesterday, which would have been a fantastic story had they go on to win the game.
You know why this year's going to be different?
Why?
Nobody's been suspended. in both Boston series,
Well, there's Kadri.
Kadri got suspended both times. In 2020, the bubble, didn't somebody get suspended? Wasn't it Muzzin?
He got injured.
Somebody got suspended too.
Maybe he did get
it was only a game, but it was somebody had a really bad hit on somebody.
Maybe it was Muzzin.
And then last year, nobody got suspended, but they lost to
Tavares
Tavares.
got injured. Muzzin got injured.
Nobody has gotten injured.
And then they had 2 horrible turnovers. And
Nobody's gotten injured. Nobody's been suspended this year, which is the first time that's happened since.
Wrong. Kyle Clifford got a 1-game suspension for his hit on Ross Colton in Game 1.
Right. Well, then they're losing tomorrow. Never mind. All my shit went to shit. All right, Tampa's winning tomorrow.
Nobody got injured.
No, Tampa's winning tomorrow. Game 7. Book it. Change the old prediction. It's new.
No. It's just Kyle Clifford.
Reverse psychology.
He doesn't matter.
Reverse psychology.
Oh, okay.
Tampa's winning tomorrow. Game 7. The IceHogs are winning tomorrow. Game 2.
Oh, God. What have you done? What have you done? Tomorrow's going to be a bad time, just like yesterday was. And that's not even mentioning the outcome. It's just the anticipation of the 2 games. It's going to be a bad time.
These playoffs, Game 1, Day 1, everything went my way. Day 2, everything went my way. Day 3, nothing went my way. Day 4, nothing went my way. Day 5, everything went my way. It's been back and forth. So
It's been the same way for me, too.
yeah.
It's like on either every team that I want to win wins that night, or none of them.
Yep. This was yesterday in a nutshell.
Yeah, it was. 2 different leagues.
Yep. Which is why we're due for good days. Which is why Tampa's in 7 tomorrow. That's all I've got to say. Why do they both have to play at the same time? That's what I'm mad about.
Every time. Every fucking time.
I'll be relying on your Twitter notifications for the IceHogs game.
Oh, good. So I have to watch them both again.
And probably the Leafs game, even though I have to work tomorrow.
I will do my best.
Let's
I'll have
start at 6:30
double
tomorrow?
screens going again.
Let's start at 6:30 tomorrow?
Which one? The Leafs?
Yeah.
Um,
If it does, then I should be good because I don't have
6
a
o'clock.
That's when our show is.
It starts at 6. IceHogs start at 7. At least the intermission should line up a bit better this time.
Fine. All right. Those are my final words. That's all I have to say.
Tampa's gonna win. Because fucking Kyle Clifford got suspended in Game 1. Great. Thanks, Kyle. After you won the fucking cup with the LA Kings. It all comes back to those years. It all comes back around to fucking 2014. Every time. I can't even say that you're right or you're wrong. I don't know. I don't know. What do you all think? Are the Leafs gonna leaf? Or are they going to not?
Are they going to leave or are they going to leave? That's the same thing, actually. That's why they're the Maple Leaves, because they have to leave.
But they're not the Leaves, they're the Leafs. You have to have belief.
Belief in the leaf.
Do you believe in the leaf?
Do you believe in the leaf?
I don't know if I have belief in the leaf. I try to have belief in the leaf.
It sounds like a t-shirt.
Belief in the leaf.
Yeah. If we could make one tomorrow and have belief in the leaf.
If they do something
Have
good.
belief in the leaf.
If they do something good.
Which would be winning. I want them to come out and just destroy them. Kill
That
them.
would be beautiful.
They won't.
Nope. They might. They won Game 1 5-0.
I'm pretty sure, didn't they have a game like that in every series since 2016 where they just killed them?
Yeah, they had I think it was 4-0 win against Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was also in Game 4.
I'm pretty sure that was the last game they won.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I can't. I just... The anticipation for both of those games tomorrow might kill me.
Just take your mind off it. Do other things.
Yeah, sure. Like, make all this hockey content talking about hockey and the playoffs, which will totally distract me from the fact that the Leafs and the IceHogs are playing tomorrow. Good plan. But whatever, we should wrap this up. It's 2.5 hours.
We've been talking a long time.
Yep. Let us know how you feel about this year's playoffs. Who's your team? Are they in it, or are they like the Blackhawks and they are not in it? Do you have belief in the Leaf? Let us know in the comments. If you aren't watching on YouTube, you can. youtube.com/c/FromCenterIce. There's links to all of the places in the show notes or in the description on YouTube, or go to FromCenterIce.com where there's links to everything over there as well. And follow Mr. Jonny Rockford on Twitter. It's just at Jonny Rockford. Very easy.
No
to
H.
find. Yes. No H. His link is also in all of the descriptions for YouTube videos here because he made the beautiful intro. So go follow him. And he thinks that Tampa's going to win Game 7 tomorrow. So if that
I'm usually wrong.
If that happens, you know who to go blame. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. But if they don't, then go thank him for being wrong. Unless you're a Tampa Bay fan, then I don't know how you've lasted this long through this podcast, honestly.
They didn't exist before 2016 anyway, so it's fine.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
That's not true. They won in 2004?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have something else to say about that? No? Okay.
No.
On that note, let's hope for better days ahead, namely Saturday, tomorrow, the day after we're recording this. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Bye, guys.